Come on now.
Check it out, party people. It's the Guard Body Gold.
Sonny T back.
It's Camp Low, right here, locked down on the Manny and Dr. Church show.
Come on now.
Where we talking to?
The Manny and Dr. Church.
Low.
Yo. This Lil Y.
Sonny Super Geechee Sway, hailing all the way from Black Hollywood. We got it locked right here on Blazing 98.5 FM. Keep it locked.
The Get Down Brothers.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Manny and Dr. Church show.
Yeah, you really? You think so? I even asked you before you got in the studio, did you turn your mic on? No, you didn't.
You know what's weird?
You didn't.
I swear on a stack of Bibles that I looked at it.
No, you don't swear on a stack of Bibles.
And then I
It's
lifted
rude.
this. As you lift this, it
Oh, yeah?
definitely turns it off.
Really?
Yep.
Classy.
Classy. That's how I get down. Dr. Church is learning the microphone, obviously, still.
All right. Well, Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and Dr. Church show. Not featuring the darkness because, well, she's got work to do today.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. It's our queen.
She's got a lot of milk to extract.
Squirrel milk is important. It's low supplies out there, and the darkness has got to do work.
And it's vital for the, the proper development of your bone structures and whatnot. You want to consume it?
Right. She's got special extraction methods: heat, fear, pressure, eye
Yeah.
contact.
The hard part's just catching the squirrels.
Right.
So we do. We need a street team, Colorado Springs, if you're interested in catching squirrels for us.
Right.
Yeah, let somebody know.
To help provide the public with squirrel milk, so that's important. So
Right.
thank you for letting the public know that, Manny. Let's do into some quick learning and then go into some hip hop. I'm feeling some music today. You know what I mean? You
How
feeling
about
some music?
one R&B? Can we get an R&B?
Yeah, you want
as
a little,
well?
little.
Maybe some
I've been
Cisco?
steering clear of that. You know why?
Why?
Pregnancy, Manny. It's real. You gotta be careful.
You're just afraid because you got
You never know.
because you got twins on the way.
You never
You don't
know.
want somebody else to get pregnant.
Right.
Really?
I don't want them to go through this same, oh no, what have I done? You know what I mean? So I'm just being cautious with what we play because sometimes we put it on, people
Yeah.
might turn over, they have their alarm clock set, and the radio goes on, and then this comes on.
What was your album when it was time? Okay,
Oh, this one's
remember when you were also just like a 17-year-old kid and you thought you were Mac Daddy of them all?
Right.
You know, what was that album?
You know, it's weird. We were just discussing this at work the
And
other
I'm going to
day.
rip
Very
off my
interesting.
Band-Aid. It was Usher's Confessions.
Oh, all right, good. Okay, good. I feel so much better now. Okay, mine was Cisco.
For real?
Yeah, it was Drew Hill. That's
Yeah,
why
yeah,
I was like,
right.
no, he's from Drew Hill. They were cool. They
That's
were
cool.
Yeah, and then it was Cisco.
But that thong song, man.
Yeah, he's like 4 foot tall with
That wasn't
silver
really a
hair.
romantic song.
No, but the rest of the album was good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I actually, I don't even know. I
No.
don't think I actually own the CD. I don't think I went down the line. You know what I mean? 'Cause
Yeah,
that's
no.
what you used to do with CDs. You put them in and then listen to the whole
Yeah.
soundtrack.
See, I put mine in was during those special moments. Was like, hey, girl, this is what adults play.
Hey.
So I think I'm supposed to do this stuff that they're saying to you next.
Let me see that thong.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, well, not that part of it. I meant, you know. And that was when like thongs were like the new thing. You know what I mean? It was racy in the 90s.
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
remember the fad where it actually developed a name? Okay, and you might be hanging out at the grocery store or wherever you're at, or a girl's on the back of a motorcycle,
Yeah.
and you can kind of see the top of her underwear line.
Yeah.
And if you notice, when they're wearing a thong, it kind of looks like a whale tail. And so that's, going whaling. You're going to go out there and you're going to check them out. And
It was
see
a
all-
whale tail.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 90s, early 2000s
Let
right
me see
there.
that thong.
Yeah. And that was the hit, and then obviously the rest of it turned into R&B. So it was between that and Genuine. Genuine was the other one. It was just he was a classic. That's how I
Casey and
keep that.
JoJo.
All right.
Maybe some Jagged Edge.
Jagged Edge was discussed next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Black Street, another level.
And those were the those were the albums that we went for when we were trying to swoon our ladies. Either that or it was George Strait. George Strait, Garth Brooks, some country love song. You had to go either full country or true R&B.
No, see, I kept it all hood. All hood.
There you go.
All hood,
Cisco.
all the way to where, honestly, that's interesting is that I found interesting the different in certain cultures is like country music. I love the word like, obviously. But country music is very much accepted in Mexican culture, right? It's like part of it, right? It's a thing. They wear the cowboy hats. They got the boots. It's there. They're in it.
You realize ranching is pretty big in their culture.
Thing.
Okay.
Puerto Ricans don't do that.
No. You don't have the cattle. You don't have the home on the range feel.
Right. Like you never. I've never personally. Maybe I'm off. But other than let's say occasionally someone such as maybe my sister, who fell into the Caucasian community quite fully. Right. Fell in with the Illuminati and so on.
Mayonnaise.
Exactly. But she's one that would go down the country route.
Right. Some Reba McEntire, some Martina McBride.
Right. Other than that, one Puerto Rican female that I know, most others no.
Just won't do it.
Celia Cruz, they go into the Spanish music, or they go into the hip hop R&B scene. Yeah, maybe even that.
I don't know.
It's just interesting. I guess it is where you're brought up. The ranching thing being bigger in Mexico,
it is,
obviously.
Man. Yeah. I grew up out in the country. I was expected to listen to country. You know what I mean? And
this is how
once you get old enough to pay for your own CDs, and then you can have a choice. It's called adults. They get to govern you while you're a child. You know what I mean?
And then you're like, what's really gonna piss them off?
Yeah.
This hippity hop stuff. Perfect. Give me
Truthfully,
that CD.
what broke my dad was Korn.
Really?
Yeah. Jonathan
like
Davis.
Freak on a Leash, Korn?
Yeah, Freak on a Leash. That album
specific
actually.
one, huh?
Well, that's what started it, and then Issues came.
Oh,
Korn,
right.
And then
the gray CD. I know what ones you're talking about.
Yeah, and that CD got broke. Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Like, I ain't dealing with this
done.
garbage. And you're like, no.
Dude, I've had stereos smashed. Mowing my lawn. I had a Walkman. Remember those?
Oh no.
A Walkman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was mowing my lawn with a Walkman on. And my old man, he ripped it off me because I couldn't hear him. He was hollering for me, and he was like, man, what if a rock kicked up and hit me in the head, and killed me? I could have been laying next to you. You wouldn't have been paying attention. You've just been bebopping to your music, mowing. I was like, it is what it is.
Wow, these kids these days, these
the
kids.
and their Walkmans.
Yeah, and their technology out there. What do you do, throw it right in front of the mower? Just took it off, you throw it in front of the mower.
Just smashed it.
You ran it over and were like,
You know Orange County Choppers?
Yeah.
Okay, the biker show?
Yeah.
All right, well, that's not my family.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
But you carbon copy it. My dad would be Paul Sr., my brother would be Paul Jr., and I'd be Mikey. That tells the jokes, takes out the trash.
Gotcha. And your dad and your brother they're in business together, get the hard heads together pumping.
They're a little bit higher octane than myself. Like, you guys can just go ahead and flex over there.
And you're coming around the corner with the bong like, hey,
let's smoke weed.
Come on, calm down, y'all.
Exactly.
Nice. Yeah, they that's interesting how people are brought up, and then you see how they turn out, the music. Music that pushes you towards wherever you
now I listen
so
to everything. Like he only wanted me to listen to one kind, and now I listen to it all.
Right.
And now I prefer music without words, like classical, because I've heard these stories before. I know you got the big rims, and you got the nice house, and the fancy this, and my girlfriend left me, or whatever it is.
Got that
like
money.
Now give me some music where I can just feel what you put into it. You know what I mean? And classical, I get that from.
Of which you played a track yesterday that you heard that I didn't
Moses Mitchell's?
Yeah, I wish you had played it and then we had immediately talked afterwards about it, to where we're probably going to have to do that today.
I'm okay with that.
Because that was, I had never heard it.
Right.
And something that I've said before, I'd said it to the darkness, I've said it to others. One thing I do trust is Manny's ear. Manny's judgment of character in his ears. Well, sometimes. Minus the cheeseburger part, I'm a little questioning that.
Leave my headphones alone,
He's
bro.
got cheeseburger headphones, okay? But minus that, you bring in great talent. You've brought in great individuals that I've met. And so anytime you're like, I'm putting this on, unless I see the track saying hick hop, I don't question it. I'm like, yo, this is something that's going to be down my road. And I'll play the hick hop.
The only reason why I'm pushing hip hop is because I know Colorado. I know there's some people out there that it ain't all about the grills and the teeth. It's about the big tires and the bass. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, I don't know.
Well, there's different genres of hip
I've
hop.
been on both sides of
you
the
know?
fence. You know what I mean? I know what it's like on both sides of the fence. So I
Agreed.
want to be able to give music a chance all the way around.
Well, I want to listen to that guy's track again and sit down and listen to it because, again, you brought something in where I was. I immediately didn't even listen to you guys after we got off the air. I put it on the headphones
And you
I
were just listening to it?
I was straight
Yeah.
listening to it. I didn't want to hear nothing else. You guys were talking. I don't even know if you were talking to me. I was literally just listening to words, and I got to say it was informative. It was pretty moving. It was pretty neat. Where it was your story almost, where he's like, they're telling me to take all these pills. Like I'm not
Yeah.
me anymore. Like.
Who am I?
Trying to find
You
me.
know?
What the heck? Where am I? I'm somewhere under all this Nintendo Jesus hair. What's going on? So
And smoke a little weed and then you learn something.
it was a pretty interesting track. So I'm gonna end
Well,
up having to put some of that on. And then we're
Moses
gonna come
Mitchell,
back.
Moses Mitchell being a veteran is what
Okay.
we're getting at here, and that's what I'm gonna end up starting pushing is the participation of military veterans who are partaking in the rap scene. You know, now granted, it's not mine. You know, the rap scene ain't totally me. You know what I mean? But what I want is to keep pushing those that are passionate, and especially service members, ones that have served this country. And so if I can contribute in any shape, way, or form in that nature, I'm going to put them on the radio because, well, that's what I'm here to do, I guess.
I agree very much to where something close to my heart recently that I've been complaining that's obviously close to your world severely is the fact that we've been at wars for this long.
Yeah.
And where I have
15 plus.
I have a few friends that had gone into the military right when it went down.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out Andy, love these guys. Shout out Mickey, passed away. I mean, it's now that I've moved here to Colorado, I've realized that when I was back east, I was in this bubble. Where
Oh, yeah.
You do not meet veterans the way you meet veterans out here, and you do not meet active service military members the way you do out here.
Right.
To where, like the other night, I come home and there's streamers all in my neighbor's yard, and it's red and white, and it says "Welcome home, we
Oh,
miss
wow.
you," and I'm sitting there like, this does not happen all across America.
No.
To where
No, it
every
don't.
day they turn on the Netflix and chill and the whatever,
Hulu
and
yeah.
there's a school
Yep.
shooting, and we're like, take away the guns.
Yeah.
There's guns and no one's paying attention to the fact that every day we're sending thousands of military members to over 135 countries.
Boys and girls.
135 countries. I can't even name 135 countries, bro. I can't even do it.
I see it in your face. I
You
believe
know,
it.
I can't do it. And I sit here and I'm like, we've been doing this for that long.
Yeah.
Where I realize is like America is a country of war.
Or it's a
Or we've turned into,
or it's a company.
or it's a company. Ooh, ouch.
Sorry.
Ouch.
I mean,
ouch. We're selling bombs.
Well, no, it's not just that. We also selling makeup
Selling makeup
and,
too.
and Pepsi. You know what I mean?
Sell
Like,
a
I'm
lot of
sorry.
Pepsi.
This is how this works. Your grandpa has something invested in maybe Lockheed Martin. You know, your grandma maybe has something invested in pharma.
They want to retire.
They want their pills, you know, they've got their 401ks. Like you've stated, it's
wanna
opened my
retire.
eyes. You know, and so if we're going to get mad at anybody, we get mad at ourselves. And in that nature, that makes us not want to participate. And that's why only about 10 to 20% of people actually participate in local politics.
Oh my goodness.
Because, well, we're busy doing our own thing.
Not even just that. So you're mentioning participating. So randomly,
what I do.
I love my Joe Rogan stuff.
Okay.
And he had a guy on that he has a TV show. He's a military guy. He's active duty military as well.
Okay. You have to
And
be careful active duty when you're
He very
making noise.
well. That's the thing. They gave him permission to go out there, and
All right.
he does this TV show where his thing is basically things that have occurred to other former service military members, like legendary stories. He will put himself in those predicaments, film it to prove that it can be done again for whatever reason.
Okay,
Makes
yeah.
for great TV, which then will hopefully, the idea and concept being is propaganda to inspire the youth to
Absolutely.
go, hey, you know, maybe you want to come on and fight some people and do something heroic or something. But they're saying that the selection of individuals right now that are available for them to choose for the special forces is at the lowest that it's ever been, ever, because everyone's fat.
No,
Everyone's
yeah,
out of
no,
shape.
absolutely,
We're
and
a
they're
mess.
extremely undisciplined.
Yes.
They are. There's no. When I was getting out in 2010, man, like, and you can talk to the older vets. They're saying that the Army was going downhill way before then.
Right.
You know, I might have been just the end of the I can't clean it up for radio.
You're probably right because of technology, right? Like they could be like, "Don't touch me, I'll record it. I'll put it on World Star. Tell."
I can't even. I got out before all of this. Like BlackBerry was real big just before I got out, and you were still texting with no touch. You know what I mean?
So now everyone has rights and they know them.
And here's the deal: is it's gotten softer. You know, people have opinions, and it sucks. But because the military taught me that there's no place for emotion when you have a job to get done.
Is that what made you frozen? They froze your heart? That's what they did? Thank you, Millet. Thank you. Appreciate that.
What it's done is it's made me efficient. Let's put it that way, efficient. Because there's a lot of people in this world that get hung up. And like right now, I'm going to talk to the person that's hesitating leaving their job. The person that wants to leave their job right now. Okay? Because they're tied up with the, oh my gosh, if I don't have this money, maybe I won't be able to do this. And their fear of their child. They can't feed them. Or their husband, the disappointment. You know what I mean? Like, take your emotion out. Do what you have to do. Execute. That's that simple.
To kill people, Manny? No, I'm sorry. That's terrible.
Horrible
like,
joke.
Murder them? Like, wait.
No.
I get what you're saying, but get up and do your job.
We've had this conversation
right.
before, you know, and the military taught me that, yes, you can add these emotions. You can. It's human. It's in us. They're there. Or you can stuff all that stuff aside and get the job done. That is also in us to be able to do. And it doesn't get unlocked until you are, well, exposed to what we're exposed to in the military. Like you see your brothers and sisters next to you going through the same thing. And it's you compromise and you move forward.
See, but why can't your job be like eradicating child porn and hunger? Like,
Because
why is it got to be blowing up brown people?
Because there's civilians that could take on that job. All right, there's 100,000 of you guys that could be taking that job on right now. We don't need to do that. We are armed forces. We are soldiers. We are, you know, we're there. We're gonna do the things you don't want to have to do, so you can close your eyes and sleep at night. Now, if you want to get rid of pedophiles, get your ass out there and go get rid of them.
And go get them.
You know what I'm saying? Because there are people, there's only 1% that'll get up and go and join our armed forces. How come we can't get 1% of people that'll join up and stop pedophiles? How come we can't get 1% that'll join up and stop, school shootings? You get the math.
It's getting weirder is the best way to describe it out there. To where, again, when I heard this guy saying that there was a severe shortage because just everyone's out of shape.
Yeah.
And no one.
The standards are low.
Everyone knows their rights now. So it's the whole, like, when you're standing in drill line and whatever, and they're yelling at your face.
You have no rights.
You sit
when
there.
you in.
Right. Well, allegedly, they're saying that now they have a lot of talkbackers and so on, and they have to throw you in holes and the whole thing. And
they got to try and break you.
Yeah.
You got to learn that you don't. When you wear that uniform, you don't have an opinion.
You're in.
You have a job, and you have your chain of command, and whatever comes down to you, you execute. And then when you're done, you can talk to your buddies and throw rocks at helmets, and because that's what we do.
Question. There's a little left.
All right.
Still within the vicinity of the range we were just in.
Blinker.
Musically.
All right.
When you were out overseas and so on in Iraq and so on, you get to those dull, boring moments. You did the story time and so on. Did you ever have a cipher with music? Did anybody ever spit hot fire? Did it ever turn into that?
There were people out there.
Spoken word moments.
You can check out. No, I'm going to shout out the Fobbit song.
The Fobbit song.
I might actually have to try and track it down to play it on air.
Interesting.
For combat arms, when you left outside the wire, it was extremely risky, and you didn't always have the chance to come back. And there was certain individuals that were inside the wire, inside the fob, the base, that would get certain rewards for incoming or getting attacked, or they just submit a piece of paper. And what it was doing is it was watering down certain awards that were being issued to individuals who were actually out there on the front lines, staring at these bombs, kicking in the doors, stuff like that. And somebody got upset enough to where they came up with a song called the Fobbit song. And I might even be misspeaking of what it's actually called, but it is a hilarious mix describing the different lifestyles of what it was like in the military, what it was like deployed in a combat zone for the people who stayed on the fob, and then the people who had to go outside the wire.
What is the fob?
Your base.
What is that?
Forward operating base.
That's what it stands for.
Okay.
I knew it was an acronym for something. I was like, I've seen that. I know I've seen it. Again, sorry for ignorance and stupidity. I did not get up and serve because I was some kind of bum just out there working all the time.
That song, the Father song, was a hip hop song. It was rap. And again, I think I'm gonna try and find it. And so there was some rap. A lot of sharing went on. You know, there was songs would break out. You know, we'd hang out and storytelling kind of would take off.
Right.
And music would break out, and then we,
Any like the one night we were at the Speakeasy, and all of a sudden darkness would go in. And
kind of like a tiny concert.
A cipher, like a straight up just a mix. Anybody wanted to go in next? If
I didn't take part in any of that, but I do know that it took place.
You definitely saw.
Yeah, that's what inspired me to look up these rappers, these vets. Soldier Hard, Moses Mitchell. Shout out the Sarge here locally in town. These guys, they do put in the work, the passion. Just because they put on a uniform and can disassemble an M4 and a 50 cal, doesn't mean that they don't like hip hop.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean?
So I'm trying to get to something slowly. I'm weaving a conversation here. I'm trying to get Mystical was a rapper. He was in the military back in the day. If you remember him, from the South.
I didn't know he was in the military. I've heard of the name. Mystical?
He was. Mystical was a big military guy. And I always wondered was the way K-Solo and DMX came out, hip-hop history, if you will. K-Solo and DMX were in jail together, right?
Yeah.
They spit the hot fire in prison.
Right.
You get out.
Yep.
Come out with an album.
Yep.
One's going to make it. One might not make it. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if that same thing comes from the military, where people were in battles in regards to ciphers in Iraq. Right. Does Moses Mitchell have a Spellbound? You know what I mean? Like the way Moses Mitchell wrote a song, and then some other guy from the military is like, nah, man, he stole my track.
Okay.
That's my track. You can't do that. And it's from like former ciphers from that grouping where you're forced to stay somewhere together.
I could see that. I mean, I'm getting the correlation of what you're saying, because the beef between K-Solo and DMX, where they were both in prison. Apparently DMX demonstrated the Spellbound song, and then K-Solo gets out, and then apparently he covers the song Spellbound,
and where
then the beef
that's
begins.
Argumentative.
All right, and it is argumentative.
Yeah.
I agree.
Solo says no.
You're wondering if somebody in Iraq out there, when they're doing the ciphers, because they took place.
Right.
If anybody's actually fighting over labels, like I truthfully no, man. Like
did somebody write the Fobbit song and one guy's claiming for it and going, I wrote that? Somebody else like, I wrote that.
Unfortunately, nobody's paying this guy for it. Like, this is a service member. This is somebody who served your country. Isn't that worth $1 from one member of the civilian populace? Just to say, hey, good job, thanks for your service. I feed your dream. Here's $1. And now imagine if everybody did that in America. Did you know that soldier would now be $326 million richer? Isn't that called support?
Yeah.
Just $1. Oh.
Yeah.
And he's a hip hopper. He knows the rap.
He knows the rappings.
You can get him on the stage. You can do it.
Painful.
Good times. Hey, let's get into some music, man.
You're right, Manny. We were supposed to talk about this. We're going into the music. Let's do that.
Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and Dr. Church show. The darkness will be in later.
Hey.
We're going to get into some music. Keep it locked. It's blazing. Dirty Game Studios.
One son, one son, one son, one son, one son, one son.
Hello. What up, Radio Land? This is your favorite fast stoner one ton from the infamous underground stoner group Potluck. Man, you tuning in to the Manny and Dr. Church show featuring The Darkness on Blazing 98.5.
Never wake up. You wanna ride with me? Better get your weight up. One son, one son,
It's Blazing 98.5. What? Your new station, bringing all the real classic hip hop and R&B.
Hey, yo, this your boy Pastor Troy checking in. And you listening to, man, you already know, the Manny and Dr. Church show on Blazing 98.5. Home of the original hip-hop and R&B.
This is Justin Bua, and you're listening to the Manny and Dr. Church show.
Serious Jones, you know I'm alive on
the way live and all the way high with the Manny and Dr. Church show. Life is serious.
Kill it real quick. I am legend. They been acting like I'm Will Smith, but when I'm Uncle Phil Rich, I still kill issue. So I'm back, cause niggas still frontin' like I ain't the GOA till you about to represent them. As a matter of fact, I'm nothing but a savage that be rubbing, mixing rappers with percussion on the platter. I'm disgusting.
www.seriousjones.net. That's SERIUS, no O is serious. And also make sure you subscribe to the YouTube.com/Serious Jones.
Whoa, good morning.
Yeah, no doubt. No
Oh,
doubt.
good morning.
It's Saturday, right?
It's Saturday.
No,
Wait.
Sorry, guys. It's Sunday.
Is it Tuesday?
Thursday. Man, some of us we don't rely on the weekdays. We
I
just
don't know
kind of
where I
grind.
am.
We just kind of grind, show up, and just do work.
Welcome to the Manny and Dr. Church show. Manny, let's talk some hip hop real quick.
I don't know anything about hip hop.
Yes, you do. Shush. You have a track. You have a track that you played for me yesterday that I didn't get to hear too much of.
I did.
Because everyone wanted to talk to me again. All this business they want to take care of off the air. I'm like, stop. I want to listen to our show.
But what if I told you that my memory is so horrible that I can't remember the name of it?
Well, it's called Moving On. Moses Mitchell.
That's what it is.
There you go. So I want to play that. I'm going to play that track.
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to that track.
He sent me 4. He's got one called PTSD.
Who's
another
this guy?
one called Coming Home or something like that. He's a vet.
He's a veteran?
Yeah. I'd like to get more of his story, but I want to get Colorado Springs kind of used to his flavor of music first. You know, so that way when we are discussing and interviewing this guy, they'll be able to refer, you know. They'll be like, oh, that's the guy that made the song that kind of made me want to cry.
That guy.
Oh, yeah. No,
Oh.
and it doesn't make you, it might. It might inspire you to want to go do bigger and better things. Who knows? But it's Moses Mitchell, and he's new to my ears.
Okay.
From my understanding, he's been in the game for a little while. I think he rapped while he was in the military. Almost positive he did. But outside of that, I want him to be heard. I want other military members to be heard. So if you are an aspiring rap artist or an R&B artist, hit us up at the Manny and Dr. Church Show at gmail.com. Send us your music. Let us hear it. And here's the deal. If it's good, I'm going to play it. And so if you like this next track that we got coming up,
Let's go into it and come back. Let's go into it and come back. Let's go into it and come back.
Keep it locked.
Trying to holler at you before you took off, but wanted to say we're all behind you over here, man. Thank you for everything you do. We appreciate you. Make sure you come home safe, bro. See you when you get back. Love you.
Yeah, I've been thinking, but obnoxiously thinking. My baby say I think too much, so I've been constantly drinking, constantly contemplating these complicated conversations. I've been peeking, I've been seeking with impossible demons, and I don't want it like that. It's just a piece of me. It ain't gotta be a spirit, a heart, and a beast in me. It ain't gotta be my legacy, but just a memory. I faded, wanted that, and I just want back all my energy. But pills, more pills in a couple bottles. That's what the Victor Alpha says will solve all the problems. Top of the rock, but I'm rock bottom. Dog face soldier, they the reason why I still got them. And I'm just trying to get back to who I used to be. Familiar face and they still not used to me. Combat canvas and it stretched so brutally, but Bob Ross flow, so I painted so beautifully. In Carolina back roads on the road king seem to be the best thing for the mood swings. And battling myself is not a new thing, but this time I'm leaving with a W, Wu-Tang. And if it wasn't for this Jimmy John's delivery, I'd never set these combat boots aside this industry. I thank the Lord for sending me an enemy, putting out shots, but it clearly wasn't it for me. I rap for my people, rap for my people, clap for my people, round of applause if you step to my people. Me, that's with my people, thumbs, butterfly, triggers, small deuce, and they pros. And I never had a squad, I just did it for the family. Always had the realest people out here understanding me. Notice that I use the words understanding me, cause that's exactly where I put them. Now I'm feeling like a canopy. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I got nothing to do, nothing to
Hey, Moses, haven't heard back from you yet, man. I want to see how everything is going over there. Alright, well, I know you're busy. Hit me back when you can, bro. Be safe.
like you. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Let's be honest, I can't promise I'm gonna change my way. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. So I'm burning bridges over troubled waters. The troubled mind of a troubled father. So put them troubles in a bottle, send them up to holler, and holler back if you got snake bites on your collar. Look, I'm a 4-time war vet, we probably don't see eye to eye. Nothing here to brag about, but just in case you wonder why, I'm a nervous wreck, I never sleep and I don't idolize these sorry ass rappers to make it somewhere, and I'm not surprised. And honestly, it's getting embarrassing. I mean, I'm talking to them, but I don't see no comparison. In a room full of black Beatles, I am George Harrison. On a tower in Paris, screaming, where are the terrorists? So yeah, I'd be an idiot not to try. I done been to hell and back, promise I am not the guy. Orange plastic bottles in every room that I occupy. Real PTSD, you probably got it from Spotify. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I got nothing to do, nothing to prove, nothing left to lose. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. 'Cause I'm afraid if I stay, I'm gonna wind up like you. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. Let's be honest, I can't promise I'm gonna change my way. I'm moving on, I'm moving on. I'm moving on, I'm moving
Wow.
Moses Mitchell, Colorado Springs.
Welcome back to the Manny and Dr. Church Show. Any of you just tuning in that missed any of what we said earlier to that song, that was Moses Mitchell. Military vet.
Yeah.
Oof.
Said he did 4 tours in that song.
It's a heck of a song there, Manny.
Yeah. Very, very powerful.
Bottles everywhere. It's
Been there.
real PTSD. Not off the
Yeah.
off the
And
Spotify.
one thing that's hairy is that line of what is PTSD, you know, and I'm not here to determine that, so we can move on.
Yeah,
I know what it takes in my personal side to have it, you know what I mean? That's just me personally,
right.
you know.
It's definitely a real thing. I appreciate the heck out of them starting to recognize that. I also appreciate the idea that head trauma is real. And I appreciate that there's a lot of movement towards a lot of, I mean, there's always been science progressing, always, obviously, but a lot of major movements in regards to the alternative medicines, let's say.
Right, absolutely.
Down to just the cannabis field, the mycology field, mushrooms, mycelium.
I'm going to plug a hashtag, beats over pills. Hashtag beats over pills. That's Moses Mitchell's. Whether or not he's putting a lot of steam behind it or not, it's something that, I mean, I'm video games over pills. I'm weed over pills. I'm anything over something that doesn't make you feel like you. You know what I mean? And I think that's the overall message.
It's weird. I'm not allowed to say any funny jokes here, so dark humor. Here we go.
Here we go. Let's go.
Isn't Dr. Dre's Beats called the pill, the speaker?
Oh no.
I'm like, isn't that his? What's the Beats with
Wow,
the pill?
you're
So I'm
right.
sorry,
All right,
dark
yeah.
humor. I'm sorry. Just apologize. I just thought of that.
It
Was
is
like,
called
isn't that
the
called the pill or
Thanks.
something?
I don't own one.
I don't either.
Like
I start
said, I
seeing
leave pills alone.
Yeah.
I leave pills alone.
They're like, Manny, try this Beats
Like,
pill.
no, keep it away.
Connects to your Bluetooth.
No.
No. Just say no. You got some weed though? All right then. Well, I appreciate you bringing me this to where let's put in a
Absolutely.
couple more of these tracks. I reached out to Sirius Jones. We'll see if he'll reach back. I got a couple people possibly, allegedly, maybe possibly going to come chat with us on the Manny and Dr. Church show. I talked to.
Talk to?
He doesn't like to be called this, but I talked to Jude yesterday, a.k.a. Jude Angelini from the All Out
He
show.
doesn't like being called that?
He's not a big fan of it because it was like that's when he was a kid. But now, obviously, it's his name, stage name. He's not big on it, but it's like, whatever. That's what he's known for.
Okay.
He'll take it. Whatever pays the bills. Sounds good.
What's his real name?
Just Jude Angelini. It's his
Okay.
publishing name, if you will, to where
Right.
he's got 2 books out there. Hyena was his first one, and now he's recently come out with Hummingbird.
Animal themed.
Yeah.
Rude Jude, the guy that just pretty much made his living off of trolling people before the internet.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. That's right. The
Right.
Jenny Jones thing would be kind of trolling, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, before political correctness, too, so he could
Definitely.
say whatever.
Anything.
However,
And then since it was all just a skit and a joke, and it was all fun, anyways, right?
And then they fired him. They got a bootleg Jude on.
Yeah.
For a little bit. I don't know if you remember that. I remember
don't.
that back in the day. They got a bootleg
That's a
Jude
bummer,
on.
man. Get a counterfeit
Look
Jude.
just like him and
No.
everything. Yeah, it was messed up.
They make them dress the same and all that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
then
horrible.
he somehow found his way to the Sirius XM before Stern moved over there.
He's on Shade45, ain't he?
Yeah, he was there forever.
Yeah.
Forever. Back when everybody's like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, why would you work there?" And he's like, "No, it's a job." But
not, right?
He's taking all kinds of crazy jobs. Down
You
to
said he
bathroom
called
attendant.
you, though?
Yes. So he called me. He's going to come on the show, allegedly.
Allegedly?
At some point, we're going to have him on. We could
Well, he's
possibly
in
try to come
travels
on
right
today.
now. You said that he was...
He's at the airport. He's running around plugging that book. He's out there doing all the tours, and he promises he can keep it censored because I'm a little worried. Going, I don't think you can do that.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. This guy makes a living off of just throwing wrenches into fully functioning machines.
Right. Well,
like this wrench goes right here.
Perfect spot. Perfect. No, I'm probably going to leave it towards the 8 o'clock hour if we get him on. And if he can come on, because again, he is traveling around, but he's going to come on, plug his book.
F-bombs are 10,000 apiece on these airways.
We're not looking for that.
Right, I'm not trying to.
I also got to be careful because, again, his stories are almost to where he can't describe them. But the funny part being, his relationship with his pops reminds me of yours, but I don't know how crazy yours has gotten to where his dad is giving him tips and tricks. And
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, my dad would give them to me if I asked.
Okay, right. Okay.
So, yeah, I'm going to leave it at
All
that.
right, this one he's saying his stepdad gives it to him whether or not he's like, Dad, I don't know.
He's like, just so you know, by the way, if you use porcelain to break glass, it makes no noise.
That's my mom.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did I just give Colorado Springs that?
That might have just happened. Jeez. Anyway, so yeah, he might come on. I reached out to Sirius, like I said, and then we always got K Solo we can chat with.
Yeah.
When
I
it's
want to talk to
time.
Sirius Jones about his rap battle endeavors, like what's coming up next, because I think about 4 or so months ago he was in a rap battle.
I heard he went to Canada and smashed it.
Yeah.
I heard he's got. I mean,
The last one I saw was him and Disaster, the Army vet. And man, they were just at it on it. If you haven't watched a Sirius Jones rap battle, you might want to YouTube it.
You might have to check it out.
They get pretty intense, you know what I mean?
They're that good, huh?
Yeah, man. I mean, some of the I don't know how somebody doesn't get punched. Like, I'm just telling you, some of the things that they say to each other and how close they are to each other's faces. And I have seen them get physical where, they'll poke each other in the chest. And, the dudes will have to get in and separate them and be like, all right, if you want to get physical, we could do this in the parking lot. You know, so I have seen it get to there, but I'm like, man, I just don't know if I could. I don't know if I could hold back.
You gotta
I don't
go.
know if I'd wait for the parking lot.
You gotta go to the old school ones.
Yeah.
To where I found Sirius Jones, he was 23 years old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he was named MTV Rap Battle King 6 times in a row or something like that.
He was young. 05, 04.
Yeah. When I was deployed to Iraq, staring at bombs.
He was out there just spitting hot fire. I mean, tearing it up. Anybody came through, it just destroyed him. And it was funny because he was from Jersey. Jersey got a lot of heat all the time. And so he came back just no.
Honestly, you guys kind of asked for it.
We did, but we didn't, okay? The Jersey
okay.
Shore is not us. They're from Long Island, okay?
I'm not talking about just that.
They're from Long Island. Jim Tan Laundry, okay? The situation. That's not us.
What about the Jersey Devil?
What about it? All right. It's a thing, okay?
Y'all are asking for it.
You can't root for Satan once in a while? That is bad. That's never good.
You can't.
Right.
You're not on the winning team. You'll always be.
You're correct. I think I said that. My mom said we couldn't.
You couldn't do it.
I can't be. It wasn't that my mom did, but I knew that if I came home going, I love the Devils, Mom, she would immediately been like, That's why I was a Rangers fan. Was New York, and in Jersey was the Devils, and it was that weird. I was one of the few guys in Jersey going, no, New York Rangers. So I'm not allowed to root for Satan, okay?
Good times.
Mom's a preacher. Let's go into some music, Manny.
You want to? What kind of music?
Just some quick music. I got some Sirius Jones.
No R&B?
Oh, you did ask for that.
Just one R&B. That's
Just
all I'm
one
asking
time.
for.
It's
We
all
got
he asked.
4 hours this morning.
He said, please.
One R&B.
Just one time.
Unless Colorado Springs, you are tuned in to the Manny and Dr. Church Show Feature in the Darkness, and you would like to join us on Facebook. We've got an open group where you can just answer the question, who shot Tupac?
He's still alive.
And sometimes those are the answers we get.
Who brings us this beautiful, wonderful tickling of our ear holes, Manny? Real quick.
Warp Zone Gaming and Lab Builder Supply.
Warp Zone Gaming.
2 completely different and unique industries.
Amazing, but all one and the same because they bring us this tickling of your ear holes all morning.
It's true.
That's right. Video games at 2508 East Bijou in the back of the Speakeasy Vape Lounge. Meet Nintendo Jesus. Retro video games. Sega,
all right.
Nintendo, NES, Super Nintendo, all of them.
The original, the OGs.
Come meet them.
Yeah.
Lab Builder Supplies, hit them up. They've got affordable nitrile gloves. If you're a trimmer or in the industry, you know what I'm talking about. 719-722-4181. Those black gloves, $7.
Hey, Church, can you give me the alphabet backwards, please?
ZYX, WVUT, SRQ, PON, MLK, JIHG, FED, CBA.
And can you give me the number for that ridiculous savings on gloves again?
719-722-4181.
And that will get you some nitrile gloves.
$7 black gloves.
Make it happen.
$6 blue ones.
Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and Dr. Church Show. Keep it locked. It's blazing. Dirty Game Studios. Darkness, hurry!
I've been on my chill this shit, but I could turn into a rapper killer real quick. I am legend, they been acting like I'm Will Smith, but when I'm Uncle Phil Rich, I still kill this shit. So I'm back, cause niggas still frontin' like I ain't the GOA till you battle rapper something. As a matter of fact, I'm nothing but a savage that be grubbing, mixing rappers with percussion on the platter. I'm disgusting. It's my habitat, I'm hunting, get your fangs out. Let's get serious, since they calling my name out. The young you for 1-2, been barking cause he wanna shine, but you still under my son's roof. How uncouth, they like, what about move? Keep him running around in circles, call that duck, goose. Straight chickens, I just let them run loose. See, it's a billion lies, but only one truth. Ask Hollow who the dawn is. Say John and get stole like his bars is. And we know who Sun Moon and to be a star is. We let the flow win. Man, I break daylight like I'm rolling. X ain't a factor and he knows it. I'm from the wood, boy, no Pinocchio shit. Cross the garden, don't know how Holy Jones is. Your life never get back straight, scoliosis. My religion is the truest. I yam Jeho and Renge quotas. Like I'm Buddhist, saying I won't end up at the top. That's just foolish. That's like saying Drake is starved from the bottle cause he Jewish. Ramadan, I'm supposed to be faster. Instead I'm at the table tucking in my napkin. See what the fuck happened with suckers in the rack. Then the fuck up all the action for real niggas. Wait until bars, then you beef. You lucky he ain't seashells and only got washed on the beach. People only know what goes on the lens. Good thing karma's a bitch and Jones is a pill. You ain't ill, you just feel sick. Little kids in my hood on some Brazil shit. You know it's principles I deal with. The kids busting like a field trip. Man, I might pull up in the voice with 5 9s. Bitch say don't squeeze. Said you tryna take Joe's out, bitch. Ortiz, rip the buttons off the eyes crooked or the couch. Basically, I totally slaughtered the whole house. Fuck them, I'm tryna battle him. I wonder what excuse they could say after him. They might reevaluate the Thorns worth. Tell Kendrick this the out of control verse. I've been round the whole earth, living out on hoes purse. All-star, had to slow it down like a converse. They asked who the illest should be Jones first. Gotta pull it out these pussies like a home birth. That's one verse. So I mean, they keep coming at me with the fake they want me to do.
Serious Jones, you know I'm live, all the way live and all the way high with the Manny and Dr. Church Show. Life is serious.
Kill 'em real quick.
Yo, it's Lil Y.
Sonny Shibagichi Sway, hailing all the way from Black Hollywood. We got it locked right here. It's Camp Low on the Manny and Dr. Church Show.
This is RW from the Urban Renewal Project, and when I'm in Colorado Springs, I wake up to the Manny and Dr. Church Show on Blazing 98.5
It's your boy ISO, Emperor Slick Outstanding, and you listen to the Manny and Dr. Church Show on Blaze.
My name is Elmer Damon with the Urban Renewal Project, and you are now tuned in to the Manny and Dr. Church Show on Blazing 98.5 FM. Don't miss it.
Yeah, I've been swallowing my toothpaste to slow balding.
Who told you to do that?
My
Hey,
doctor.
the lights on. The lights on.
Welcome back to the Manny and Dr. Church Show. My goodness.
Hey, the darkness is coming, right?
I hope so.
She's on her way?
She's on her way. You know, we've been
Yay.
playing all the tracks that call her.
Right.
We send the signal out.
Tribe
the darkness
Called Quest.
comes. That's it.
Can't blow.
That's it.
And
We
the
send
darkness
that.
comes.
Send it out. She hears it. It's like a superhero on her way. So she's flying right now, on her way.
Well, I wanted to hand you this.
Talk to me.
When since we like dead air, it's gonna.
How about that?
I'll ramble a little bit so
Yeah.
you can, read and
Yeah.
again. So read. Over here rambling. So what do you feel about this business card?
This is kind of genius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unique business cards, if you will.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a hot
great.
topic, if you will, as well, right?
That's pretty great.
Yeah?
That's pretty great.
How do you feel about Jeff Sessions?
Yeah, good old Jeffrey. Jeffrey and I, well, yeah.
So can you read the card?
OP Smoke Sessions. Enjoy this free weed in honor of Jeffrey Beauregard Session. Thanks, Jeff. Make sure to tag #Jeff and Weed Thor in a pic when you light up this joint. To where this guy's giving out free weed.
We got a superhero in Colorado Springs named Weed Thor, and what he does is he's got these packages where he goes out and he hands out free joints in his business card. Just
This
like,
man's
let's
a
get
genius.
high.
This man's a genius. Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. And what he wants people to do is #Jeff Sessions when they're having their sessions. Because he said that only only bad people smoke pot or something. Like, I don't know. Like, I try not to waste too much thought on them.
Right. Wow, today I learned. Oh my gosh, that's one of the best today I learns I've ever learned. Are you kidding? So how do you find Weed Thor?
What if I told you don't find him?
He finds you.
He'll find you. But he has been spotted a lot lately at the Speakeasy Vape Lounge.
Really?
2508 East Bijou.
So he hangs out in Warp Zone Gaming is what
He
you're
does.
saying.
He comes through and he hangs out, and we talk. He's in his getup. He's full Thor, bro.
Full Thor.
And he's got the weed symbol on his chest. He even has
Stop it.
And it's not a Mjolnir. It's not Thor's hammer. All right. He has a hammer though that you can smoke out of.
Stop.
No, I'm serious.
No, he's
yeah,
got
it's pretty cool.
I gotta meet this guy.
It's Weed Thor, man. You can find him. He's on Facebook. Thunder God of Awesome or something like that.
I am so happy right now because
people are out there doing this.
Well, you know what it is. So again, we're a learning show. So we always you find some random stuff.
Absolutely.
We learn and like what? So there's superheroes in real life. We've talked about that
Captain
before.
Cannabis. We have. You don't know about him? We'll go into that one.
All right.
later.
Well, there's a guy named Phoenix Jones.
Okay.
And he runs around Washington State. He was famous a few years ago where he literally dressed up.
Yeah.
And he dressed up like a superhero and run around.
Right.
And try to stop crime.
Wow.
Then in Hoboken, and that guy was trying to fight real people, though. He was going after real criminals and stuff. A little nutty.
Sometimes you can end up getting into bad situations there.
Yeah, it went a little too far.
Hey, Louie, just dump him in the river.
He's
wearing pajamas.
No one will care. So yeah, that's one angle.
All right.
But then there's the other is in Hoboken they got a couple characters that for no reason there's a guy that rides a bicycle.
Yeah.
And he takes the bicycle, he dresses up like it's the Bat bicycle. He dresses up in full Batman garb, but like
you're talking the Bat cycle like in the movie. That guy. I think I've seen a video of it.
Talking like a 10-speed.
Oh wait.
Yeah. I'm
Hold
talking
on.
like a 10-speed. It's like the hood version of Batman. So like even the mask is kind of hood. It's like one with the strap on the back, It's super ghetto. It's super hood. He might have a cassette tape on the front of his bicycle that plays like the Batman theme somehow on cassette.
Wow.
Probably not cassette. It's probably a CD player. But
I
either
don't
way,
know, the skipping might be an issue, so he might move to cassette.
probably he plays though the Batman theme, and then no joke,
He just rides around town.
rides around town, and it's 1 square mile, and it ends up where he became a local celebrity like that. Where you'd always be like,
Okay.
oh, there's Batman. And then a few weeks later, Spider-Man. He had a little mini scooter, like a child-sized scooter.
Yeah.
An electric razor scooter, but a
Right.
child-sized one that you sat on. And
Oh,
he'd
no.
follow Batman around.
So
on
there
his-
was another one.
Yeah.
2 people. I thought you were saying he was
Right.
changed outfits.
Correct.
No, so he's recruiting.
Correct. You couldn't have said it better. So then the story progresses, and I will finish this up.
All
But
right,
this
all
guy
right.
ends up going online, looking for villains because he wanted to have all-out like theater wars in the middle of the Mile Square.
Just like superhero LARPing.
No joke.
And for all the people, LARPing is live action role playing. It's when you see them in the park and they're hitting each other with foam and they're dressed up they're out there having fun using their imagination.
I didn't even know what that
let them
was.
do what they do.
I didn't even know what that was.
Imagine if we did that and we did the superhero LARPing.
Like, I'll show you how bootleg this guy looks. Just look up the Hoboken Batman.
Bro.
And it's the most bootleg looking thing where you're like, stop it.
That's hilarious.
It's so bootleg.
The Hoboken Batman. That's a real thing.
There's a couple characters out there that would live there. And
I'm seeing Robin.
I'm not joking.
I'm seeing Flash.
Yep.
These aren't
jokes. These people would meet up and they were looking for villains. They were on Craigslist.
Is that The Mask? I see The Mask. Jim Carrey's The Mask.
They also have Michael Jackson's probably in there somewhere, which makes no sense. They just throw in Michael Jackson like he's not a superhero, but I guess Michael Jackson would suddenly be walking down the street with those guys. Yeah.
Well, he had a video game called Moonwalker on Sega Genesis. Michael Jackson was big into the video games and superheroes, like you discussed.
Right.
Saying he wanted to do the Disney thing.
That didn't even click till now you're saying that.
Maybe they connected the dots, you know. So
right. Because Michael Jackson was going to buy Marvel.
Right.
He had the funding in place, and then the child's
litigations.
All that, the child's allegations of child touchings.
I mean, he wasn't helping himself. He held his baby outside a balcony. That wasn't helping. You know what I mean?
Had to name his baby Blanket, which we discussed yesterday.
Right.
Why they do that?
They're not helping. Like, help yourself by.
But we discussed why that happens. At least you brought up the idea that teachers have a tough time naming their children because you're like, I'm gonna name my kid John. No, you ain't. I hate John. I had little John in third grade.
John threw up in my junk drawer.
Right. Exactly. Well, what about Susie?
Nope.
Thumbtacks on my seat. Don't like
Susie. She
Susie.
used to kick Johnny all the time.
Rude. Just a rude little lady.
Yeah. So I imagine it would be hard to name your child.
Michael Jackson got to the point that he met so many rude individuals. He's like, my kid name?
Blanket. I'm done.
Good with me. Blanket. And everybody went,
What's it wrapped up in? His name.
Well, yeah. It's good. No,
That'll
just
do.
Go with that one. That's perfect. So.
Did you know that Michael Jackson?
Thor.
Did you know secretly Michael Jackson had connections with Sonic the Hedgehog 3?
No. Please.
Do your research.
Oh,
you're
gonna tickle.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna let you go back to Weed Thor.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go
I
back
mean, again, so to connect it all together, these superheroes, you got people running around. You know what I mean? They're acting foolish, but none of them are legally allowed to give out weed. I hope someday they legalize in other states where they will have superheroes such as Weed Thor.
Yeah.
Giving out business cards saying #Jeff Sessions. This is free weed.
And you might be able to spot him out in the public. Last time I saw him, he took a picture. He was out at the dog park with a weed plant. Like, instead of a dog, there was a weed plant attached to a leash. And he's out there walking his dog, if you will.
Right. Well, let's hope it was, wow.
And he said that he got a few strange looks at the dog park. And so we'll see. I don't know. Maybe he'll show up at the DMV with his new service animal.
Wow.
It's Weed Thor. You know, you don't know what's going to happen.
Today I learned, Manny, is all what you've just brought to us here, and I appreciate it because you're teaching us and informing us on a regular.
What do you got? Today I learned.
Oh, we got all kinds of Today I Learned. You want to go down this road?
Yeah, give me one.
Today I learned that Clive Waring, an acclaimed musician who has serious amnesia after contracting the herpes.
What?
He can't.
Hold on. Wait, what did you say? I couldn't hear you.
The herpes.
You can lose your memory from herpes?
If you look up the name Clive Waring, CliveWearing, Clive Waring, he's an acclaimed musician who has serious amnesia after contracting herpes. He can form memories no longer than 30 seconds. Remember, hi, I'm Tom. Hi, I'm Tom.
50 First Dates with Adam Sandler flagged.
Hi, I'm Tom.
Yeah, hi, I'm Tom. 3-second goldfish guy.
Exactly.
30 seconds? Are you serious?
He can't form memories longer than 30 seconds and always thinks he's just awoken from a coma. Despite this, he can recognize his wife and can still conduct an orchestra.
What?
Yeah, to where he still can conduct his thing for some reason.
I don't know if I'd want to live like that, man. Like, I mean, the fact that I'd be able to still remember my wife, maybe. That might keep my feet grounded. And music. That also might be able to keep my feet grounded. But the fact that every 30 seconds you're checking yourself,
I mean,
like, I'm as a vet who's got memory issues.
I was just gonna
like,
hold on. I was gonna go
I couldn't
there.
imagine, man.
Bro, so listen, that's why I'm always screaming mushrooms, mycelium. I'm not just talking psilocybin based. I'm talking just mycelium in general. But I mean, for real,
The
head trauma
potential
is real.
reconstructive-
Alzheimer's is real.
Right.
It's a real major thing where people genuinely one day wake up and don't recognize their own children, and no one talks about this.
Bro, saw one of the hardest videos that I've seen in a long time. This guy was in a diner, and he's talking to this woman, and he's like, "What's your name?" You know, this, that, and the other. Goes down the line, and he's like, "Did you have kids?" And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, "Okay, did you have kids?"
I'm your kid.
And it was her son was sitting on the other side of it, and he just wanted her to say that he was her son. You know what I mean? And it didn't happen. Alzheimer's, it's one of my biggest fears. I told my wife, I was like, I got memory issues. Make me one deal, that you don't mess with me. Like, just don't leave me somewhere. You know what I mean? Like, if it happens, like, handle it appropriately. Don't just, like, drop me off somewhere and have fun. Like,
I
maybe
think of your dad. Your dad
Yeah,
dropped
my
you off
dad.
at a Spanish church. So, like, one day when you're older, I'm going to mess with you. We're all going to get together and, like, learn Spanish. And we're all just going to start speaking Spanish around you. No, like, none of us will know it.
That'd be
We'll just all
pleasant.
go for it.
That'd
And
be
you
real
sit there
nice.
like, no. No,
Real
what
nice.
is it?
Thanks.
Nosotros bailamos.
Really? In
Boricua
church, huh?
de pura cepa. Woo! Bum. No, I'm just sorry. That was way too far, and I'm acting like no one's listening here. So, today I learned. I mean, that's a tough one, though, honestly. If you end up
Memory's scary.
to where Clive Waring, look that guy up. It's pretty interesting. And the last file in your brain allegedly to go
Right.
is music.
It's music. That's
So
what I've
what's
heard
weird
before.
is that when you're really old and you don't remember nothing, I will in theory be able to play this. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then
And
when
then
I
that
play
should
that,
trigger.
you're going to be like, oh my gosh.
I remember when I was on the radio.
I remember that. And then you're immediately going to click right back out afterwards. Probably just
Be like, I
remember
like
that."
mashed potatoes.
Yeah, that's about right, sir. There was a documentary I watched, and it was all about a guy who was going around elderly homes and people that had Alzheimer's and so
Yeah.
on. And he would play the music from their teens and 20s.
Okay, so he would go time specific and,
Yep.
and maybe pick up something that they might have heard during, well, back in their day, a sock hop, I think is what they called them.
Depending on what era or genre of person, because again,
Right.
all ages were hit. He was dealing with 50-something-year-olds,
Right.
which as you get older, you go, oh, that's young. That's scary.
They're like, wait, no.
And then he was
It's
dealing with
20
the
years
70s.
away.
Yeah, he's dealing with the 80 years. Not for me.
Everybody's checking themselves right. Like, oh no, I'm almost to 50.
12,
Sorry,
13,
Colorado
14.
Springs.
No.
My fault.
Yeah.
Live your life. Go do
It's-
something fun today.
But he went around and he played music from those eras, and what it did was it literally woke people up. People that were just with their head down. They had no really verbal cues. There was a guy that was in the choir in his teens and youth, and he
Yeah.
was older, and they played old gospel music from his teens and 20s. The guy woke up. Like, you watched him, he normally couldn't speak.
Right.
He suddenly started trying to sing. And so with barely fully verbalized words, trying to sing, and it was bringing him back. And it was waking it back up. And your mind is a muscle.
Is
If you
that
don't use
rude
it,
to
you
do,
lose
though?
it. Because he wanted to just go limp on it.
Well, no. I mean, at some point, don't we just kind of reach the point of, I don't know.
Of the F-its.
Right. You know, I mean, and then
You're
what
like, I'm
happens-
out.
And then you get brought back. You know, you get a taste of that. Oh, that was great. But then it's, here I am, and then that clock starts ticking again, and then you're waiting to put that other foot in the grave.
What if it's accidental, and the way we treat our elderly, we just push them into a home somewhere, you stick them in front of a TV,
So
brain
we're
goes
doing
to
it to 'em?
mush, and then they sit there and they're like, I didn't want to go to mush, I was a smart person.
Yeah. No, I've met some
Seen that.
intelligent minds who are no longer at their caliber and cannot hold that stature anymore. You know, your mind can fail.
Right.
You know, no guarantees.
No guarantees. This
You
this learning, Clive Waring. All right, so Google that guy up. Let's see if we'll go into some more learnings.
Yeah, give me another one.
It was a good time.
Because I forgot what we were originally talking about.
Today I learned. Want to learn?
Yeah, come on.
Today I learned officials in Portland, Oregon drained 8 million gallons of water from a reservoir in 2011 because a buzzed 21-year-old decided to urinate in it.
How many gallons?
8 million gallons of water.
Because he urinated in
Because
it?
a 21-year-old was buzzed and was like, ah.
That seems extremely wasteful.
They don't say what he was buzzed on, though. Maybe he was buzzed on some kind of super pharma.
Still, we process our water.
He was on bath salts.
So can I, Manny's moment.
Go with it.
In my youth up in Washington State, 4th of July was kind of a big deal. You had the big mortars, the big, the rockets that went off. And
right.
Huge fireworks, right? And you can go buy them as
Sure.
long as you had an adult 18 and up.
In Colorado and states that are still free. Go on. Sorry, New Jersey. Go on.
Well, Colorado, we can't have mortars here.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, we're limited.
Okay.
So Washington State, dude, you can get M80s out there. If it can blow your hand off, you can buy it out there. And
that's fun.
So, this was also back in the day, and we were out at the lake, 4th of July, and somebody had the bright idea. Because, who doesn't like bright things?
I love bright things.
Right?
Shiny objects.
Especially in the night sky.
Yeah.
Well, this guy went a little bit, instead of the sky, he decided to pour fuel and oil in the lake.
No.
Yeah.
Like the whole lake?
Right.
And then
he tried to ignite it.
No.
It didn't work. It literally just polluted the lake. Yeah.
I'm going to burn everything, and it's going to be majestic.
It's going to be glorious. Dude, I'm telling you, the buildup was huge. And I was a kid, okay? I mean, 3 hours earlier, there was jet skis, people doing backflips, and then the guys on the balcony with the big old giant 3-person slingshot shooting fruit at them.
Wow.
Like they were, it was like one of those frat college
That's
parties.
the 80s.
Dude, it was live.
Yeah,
it was
90s,
live.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, somebody was like, we're going to light the lake on fire.
Yeah, woo!
And then the nighttime came and, like, there was never any real...
It didn't work.
Yeah. Everybody was out in the boat for a really long time, and then they came back. We're like, what happened?
Oh.
But
Wow.
Then again, people made choices back in those days.
Manny's moments, your stories. You've got some interesting come-ups.
Give me
bro.
another Today I Learned.
Today I learned in 1984, a pipe fitter for a uranium core processing plant in Ohio was discovered in a processing furnace. He was dead. Yeah, they killed him.
What?
At the time, the plant was discovered dumping a massive amount of radioactive waste into the atmosphere. Co-workers of the deceased worker suspected he was a whistleblower and was murdered.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on so we don't get caught up in
Yeah, we don't want to talk
yeah,
about that
next.
because
Next.
you know I'll start
Yeah.
talking about bad stuff. I love the Clinton Foundation. Kumbaya. I sent my donation in last week.
Oh, wow. I appreciate that joke.
Sorry, that's not funny.
No.
I donated. I sent the money
Ha-ha.
in. Thank you. You got my money. I'm paid in full. Thank you. Don't get me. Today I learned crows actually hold funerals, like the actual
Yes.
crow, the bird.
True story.
I didn't know
And
this.
did you know they learned from that? They will actually they will take other crows to a dangerous location, so that way they will learn for generations that they don't
know
wanna
what
die.
death
Yeah,
is and
yeah.
know how to fear it.
And avoid it. Absolutely. Ravens and crows, that's my thing.
Manny just taught me today I learned. I loved it. That's beautiful. So
Dude,
they
and that's
literally
it.
have...
They're
so-
smart, bro.
So if something bad happens, like a
Yep.
bird gets run over somewhere, all the rest of the crows gather, they're like, oh, it was...
Like,
Caw, caw.
this is what happened. This is what happens when you chew on bath salts.
You see this? You
It's
see?
your fault. It's your fault.
Told you not to dab the earwax. You ain't let you listen to that stupid foolishness.
In the cities, they'll take walnuts and stuff, and they'll drop them at intersections. So that way the cars, when they change their lights, then when the lights are green and red, the cars will run them over. And then when it stops, the red lights, the birds will come down and clean it up. They use the traffic as a tool to eat. Like there's some cool birds, man.
What?
Yeah. One of the smartest birds on our planet.
Stop
man.
it!
Yeah.
So it literally knows the traffic signals, drops down nuts so that it knows to run them over, and
then when the red light comes, they know that they're not going to get ran over, and they go and eat it. And then they rotate. They know how to have fun. I mean, they use tools. I mean, like I'm telling you, ravens and crows are on top of their game.
That's some learning right there. So dig deeper, people. That's some fun, interesting randomness there. Today I learned.
Why'd you do that?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know. That was weird.
I thought you were gonna get real creepy
It was gonna
or
get
tell me one of
weird.
your. Oh, I love this story, and then you're like a plane crash.
But whoa, I do that, don't I? I do.
All right, what's up? What do you got?
Charles Dickens, his novels were hugely popular even among the illiterate poor back in the day. So they'd actually get together, they'd pool their money together, hire a reader, and then gather to listen to their stories because they were that broke.
Wow.
And that few of people knew how
to read it
how
at
to
the
read.
time.
Just literally like, let's get some dough together.
Right.
We're going to hire that fool on the corner that's always yelling he knows something. We
That's
call him a
cool, though,
fool
man.
because he's smart. I think, didn't you make fun of smart people?
I love the idea of the movie theater before the movie theater. And I mean, obviously, people go to theater,
Okay.
drama. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I'm talking about not that theater. I'm during
Open
the
air.
Well, during the Depression, a book turned into the theater. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have that glory that. I'm lost on words here.
Well, street performers, I would say. It's still slightly alive in certain cities.
Culture.
Yeah.
Okay, I get. Yeah.
Barely. They're trying to stomp it out, political correctness and, permits and so on. You can't perform here.
Permits are getting bad.
$7,000 and so on.
Permits
So,
are getting bad.
but there are still, I went to Boston a long time ago, and I got to say, very impressed. Some wild performers running and jumping around. Again, probably at this point, who knows what they've done with them. And
Yeah, what you can or cannot do.
But today I learned. Let's go down this one because it's be.
Is it
special.
current?
It's learning. It's about mushrooms. Of course,
Oh.
I got to learn how to pronounce stuff. But the Podostroma cornudame, a mushroom native to Asia. So thank
Nailed
God you're not out here in Asia. But all of our Asia listeners, because we
Right.
get streamed all across the globe.
All across the globe.
All over that
All over.
flat Earth there. No, sorry. Everyone's like, "What? I'm turning this garbage off." He's a flat earther. No, I'm playing. A mushroom native to Asia with such a high toxicity that it can cause multiple organ failure, hair loss,
Whoa, I
and
thought
the
you were going to say
skin-
that other word, org. Yeah.
No, they don't need. Oh no!
Show that
no.
old face?
No, not for
That'd
mushrooms.
be a cool mushroom.
It mess people up. I think there are mushrooms out there like
No,
that.
what you were
heavy
saying?
in
Sorry, I
psilocybin.
totally derailed that.
Basically, there's a mushroom out there that causes such high toxicity that causes multiple organ failure, hair loss, and skin to peel off, giving the illusion of radiation poisoning.
Is the mushroom radioactive?
No, but it's definitely
That'd be my first
very
test.
toxic to where
Absolutely. That's
be
brutal,
wary
man.
and know your science. We've talked about mycelium and mushrooms and mycology on this show. We've talked about your doctors to listen to and pay attention to. Dr. Paul Stamets, I've talked.
Yeah.
I mean,
Do your research, people.
listen to the show, people.
Yeah.
I don't even need to go down this. Anyway, all this learning, Manny. I mean, again, I still can't get over the whole that there's a weed Thor. I'm sorry to bring it all the way back to that. There's a weed Thor going around Colorado giving out weed with the hashtag of for Jeff Sessions. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
We're trying to wake people up, I guess.
Today I learned the founder of lingerie company Victoria's Secrets sold the business for just $1 million 5 years after founding it, and later committed suicide by jumping from the Golden Gate Bridge as the firm went on to produce $1 billion of
Yep.
revenues for the new owner.
Unfortunately, that's a real thing that happens in business. What was it? Well, I don't think she killed herself, but the spinner. Remember the fidget spinner?
Right.
From my understanding, there was a woman that held on to that patent for a long time. And this could just be rumor from the internet, but she held on to it for a long, long time, and then she got rid of it, and then it just blew up.
Really?
Yeah. So I know it's happened before.
Oh my gosh, that's... No, it definitely has.
There's even been cases, I'll be bold enough to say, where there's corporations that have the ability to snuff out your ability to grow, so that way you can struggle enough and they'll just wait you out, and then when you can't do it, they'll buy you out.
I'll buy you.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's business. That's how
Yeah,
raw and dirty it can
strategies
be.
are-
Like you say, man, your competitors, you don't want to help them out.
No, I see
You're
him
gonna
drowning.
shove- yeah, what do you
Yeah, I
do?
walk on over. I put the garden hose in their mouth and step on their head. That's my thing. It's
Yeah.
terrible. I'm dark. I'm
Right.
dark. I'm
But
not
it's-
like
and
I'll
it's
save
business.
you. Yeah, I'm terrible.
Because your
Sorry.
family's got to eat, And here's the deal. Your competitor should have the same drive.
Yeah.
Now, granted, you shouldn't do anything unmoral. Truthfully, you shouldn't slash their tires so they're late for work.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
All
I mean, that's intense. But you know what? Let's wrap this up because we're gonna talk to Rude Jude this morning. I got Rude Jude from the All Out Show saying he'll come on the air for a couple minutes.
Sweet.
Let's talk to Rude Jude real quick.
Get inside his mind.
Not too far because
he's
uncensored, bro. Sirius XM, they're allowed to get all uncensored, act a fool and act foolish and so on. So,
and I'm assuming the rabbit hole in his Alice in Wonderland kind of mind, because I'm sure he's gone on some journeys himself.
Oh my gosh. Again, a lot of them we can't discuss here too much, but we'll go into it in a little bit. We're going to talk to Rude Jude coming up in a minute.
Colorado Springs, this is the Manny and Dr. Church show. Shy of the darkness, she is en route.
She on her way, y'all.
If you're enjoying what you're listening to, find the Manny and Dr. Church show group on Facebook. Log in, join the group, say, hey, I know who shot Tupac.
He's still alive.
It's a security question to make sure we ain't got a bunch of spam and scammers and all that stuff. But nonetheless, join us, find YouTube, Instagram. We're out there. Get connected, participate.
That's real, y'all.
What kind of music we got?
I got some Hove.
Some Hove? Keep it locked. It's Dirty Game Studios, 98.5.
Introducing Phantom of the Dark.
So check it out, party people. It's the Garvani Gold.
Sonny T back.
It's Camp Low, right here, locked down on the Manny and Dr. Church show.
Yo, it's Lil Y.
Sonny Chibagichi Sway, hailing all the way from Black Hollywood. We got it locked right here on Blazing 98.5 FM. Keep it locked.
The Get Down Brothers.
Stepping gum.
No, bro, that's just part of my outfit.
Dude,
Welcome
gross.
back. We're on the Manny and Dr. Church show. This morning we've got a special guest.
Hey,
we've got Rude Jude.
do we?
Sirius
I don't know if they're going to be able
XM.
to hear him. Can they
We're
hear
gonna
him?
hope so. We're gonna hope so.
Did
We
you
got
do
Rude
your
Jude.
job?
Rude Jude, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, we got you, bro. We got you. We got you.
You got to get him all the way
We're gonna get you as far up as I got you. That's as far as I got.
You sure?
Yeah, that's as far as I got him. Rude Jude, we got you.
Yeah, I guess.
There we go. He's like, yeah. What kind of messy show is this? Oh my
Soup
gosh.
sandwich. Take a bite, everybody.
All right, we got Rude Jude, who doesn't like to be called Rude Jude. I'm guessing it's more like Jude Angelini, the author of Hyena, author of Hummingbird, right now, host of the All Out Show. Welcome to our show, the Manny and Dr. Church show. I appreciate you for giving this time and moment out of your busy schedule because you hustling books right now. Am I correct, sir?
Yeah, I'm sitting in the airport right now at a restaurant.
Just keeping it real. Just plug.
Thank you.
I appreciate that.
They just brought me my food.
What you munching on this morning? What you got?
Ham and eggs and some pancakes.
All right. What state you in this morning?
Right now I'm in Houston. I did a signing last night. They really showed up, and I'm eternally grateful.
I mean,
So you're in Houston, book signing. Where's next? Where are you going to next?
I'm done.
Oh.
This was my last one. I'm done for a while. Denver showed up, so.
That's
right
what's up.
on.
To where he went running all around the country like crazy, plugging Hummingbird, to where Hyenas keeps coming back while talking about Hummingbird, if I'm correct. Because, I mean, again, the style you're writing is amazing.
Yeah, and the fan base has grown since Hyena dropped. More people are listening to the show, so they're being reintroduced to the book. So I'm just grateful.
All right. Can you give Colorado Springs a little bit of an example of like what they'd find in your books?
Clean example?
Clean example?
Very clean one?
Beat writer. It's modern day beat writer stuff. I'm a fringe writer. I write about fringe things. So like addiction, depression, wild sex, and just kind of growing up broke in the Rust Belt area of Michigan. My old man used to work on the line, GM.
Wow, to where he's an auto worker. I got to put this out there to where you wrote this book yourself. Am I correct? You sat down, you were like, hey, what chemicals are around? Let's write some books. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I sat down and wrote.
And that's
every morning. It was something I didn't go to college, and I was in an English class with kids with helmets and stuff, so I was a bit, kind of insecure about writing, but I just made myself do it. I did it every morning, felt good about myself when I got done, and after a couple years, I got a book out, and then my next book I was able to knock out a little bit quicker. I kind of figured out how to write.
So that's right. You're pretty self-taught. Like you grew up from the streets.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to go to a good school. My parents were divorced, so the one school district of my mom's was real hood, and then my dad he moved to a 1-bedroom apartment in like the crappy part of a good area, and me and my sister got to go to school there. We grew up broke. We didn't have bedrooms. We slept in a closet and got to go to a good school. So.
Well, and you you grew up in the real part of Detroit, right? Not like, am I correct? Kid Rock's from Detroit, but
no, I'm from Pontiac.
You're from Michigan.
Yeah.
I'm from Pontiac. It's another factory town, like 20 miles north of Detroit.
Okay.
When white people tell you they're from Detroit, they're usually not from Detroit. The city's 85% black.
And then you've got, all right, so it's a whole mix of different areas. And so you've got, well, I heard a lot of people repping Detroit is the best way to describe it. And then I heard you once upon a time, somebody brought up my man, Kid Rock. And you were like, well, Detroit's actually if you're from Detroit, it's different. And then everybody says they're from Detroit, and then you'll be close to it or a suburb of it. It's kind of like when you're from New York, and then they're from upstate New York. I've heard that call and claim before. I had that argument recently with a friend of mine. And I'm like, when you say you're from New York to somebody from New York, you got to claim what part. Because if you're upstate, it's very different than the city environment, if you will. But
it's the truth. But when you move, it's easier to say Detroit than Pontiac, and you got to start saying I'm 20 minutes up by 75. It's just easier to say Detroit.
So you don't do the whole Michigan hold up your hand, I've got a mitten, and then you point out on the mitten where you live.
No mittens.
Yeah, exactly.
No mittens.
Yeah, exactly. It's a hand thing.
I've been listening to you for a minute, but I want to introduce you real quick. I also got the Darkness here. She out here. She's also in our corner. She's gonna be asking you some questions in a minute as well. But
awesome.
I put out here is I heard you having a chat where you never know who's listening, right? It's not how many, it's who many sometimes. And I was listening to you one time, and you had Floyd Mayweather literally call up the show who's randomly listening to you. And I'm like, oh. And then he just immediately came out on you, and you're like, yo, calm, breathe. And he's like, you riding on me, and he starts giving you all kinds of issues. Has this happened other times? Like, talk to me.
That was the biggest one. It was funny. I was really hungover from Vicodin that day, and I was just having a rough show. And I said something in passing about, this was way back in the day before, when Floyd and Manny were both in their prime.
Manny Pacquiao.
Manny more so.
Not me.
And I was just, and Floyd kept saying stuff about steroids, and I was like, quit crying about steroids, just fight them, you ducking them. If you're the best, you could beat them anyway. And he heard that, he called up, and it was, I was in a tough situation because he was friends with 50 Cent. 50 Cent was a big part of that channel at that time.
Right, Shade45.
Yeah, no kidding.
So I had to really walk the tightrope of not getting punked on by Floyd Mayweather, but not going out like a total punk. And
you stood your own.
Yeah, it was tough.
He really did, though.
I walked the tightrope.
No, you really did.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. You handled that amazing.
I'll be real with you. I handled him.
He did.
He got handled.
He did.
Yeah.
He really did.
So maybe Mayweather isn't undefeated.
No, he's not. But to be fair, you know what? If I can't out-talk a boxer, I shouldn't have a radio show.
Man, you said it. I couldn't say it any better.
It's about right.
All you got to do is talk fast.
That's about right. So you recently
All I
interviewed
gotta
Tech
do is
Nine.
make sense.
You recently interviewed Tech Nine. Who's one of your favorite interviews? Is he one of your? Was he good? How was it? Who's one of your favorite people? You know what I mean?
I like Tech. He's great. He always brings energy. I never prep for his interviews. I just see what goes. It's usually something interesting. So, yeah, Tech Nine is great. E40 is another favorite of mine. Scarface, I love to just sit down and. The last Scarface interview, we just sat around and listened to music that he liked. So that was kind of
like hanging out with your friends.
All right. And I know you used to do a lot more of a music show back in the day. With I used to listen to you back with Lord Sear, Rude Jude, the Pill Mix, and this and that. You used to do a lot more music. Now it's more of a talk show, I noticed.
Well, I was doing this thing every day called the Shade45, where I would do topical countdowns.
Right.
And it was killing me, man. I was, songs about getting robbed, songs about Jerry curls, songs about, East Coast, songs from Fat MCs. Like, that was daily, man. I was losing sleep. I wasn't getting paid anymore, and I was like, all right, man, we're going to have to cut this out after. I think I did that for about 4 years, and just was like, nah, put the kibosh on that. We still do the Pill Mix, but I do talk more.
You do talk more because people want to hear your voice. I mean, that's it.
People want to hear it. It's kind of tough.
Has anybody been asking you?
And half the people want to hear me talk. So
right. Has anybody been asking you about Childish Gambino? Like, is This Is America? Like, is that becoming a topic? Are you gonna go down that road?
No one talked. I've never heard a Childish Gambino song, to be real with you.
Word.
So
that's a heavy song.
I don't.
No, I get it. I get it. Sometimes you just aren't on that side.
Or not.
No comment.
What's that?
Like sometimes we just don't walk that path, and you don't hear it. I get that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, with that,
from what I saw from the video, it seemed like a pretty lazy take on things. It's not very nuanced.
Interesting.
But he seems like he's pandering.
Oh, this is too interesting right now. To where my question next then is, do you book your own show to where is Childish Gambino next going to be walked in by your producer like, hey, today you're interviewing Childish and you just trashed him on the Manny and Dr. Church show featuring The Darkness. And you're going to go, word, that's cool.
It's unfortunate right now. We're in such a climate that the fact that I'm white, I could tell you 2 + 2 = 4, but half the cats ain't going to hear me. The pigment of my skin.
Cultures, yeah, it's getting loud.
I can't lie, hearing you with, when I remember back to you with Mayweather, that was like one of the first things he went towards. He's like, oh, you ain't black, are you? And you're like, what?
Pulled the race
What
card?
were we just talking about? We were just talking about you being mad at me for you ducking fights. And now you're talking about me being black? What did I just miss here? What? And Floyd Mayweather, please don't hurt me. I'm little. I'm just saying. I'm just asking questions.
But he can call here if he wants.
So
Yes, he can.
Yeah, just look, man. No. We're in a climate right now where it's really a lose-lose situation for me. So I just avoid those topics.
Got you.
I get that. One of the best ways to keep from shooting yourself in the foot is take the bullets out of the gun.
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't even deal with it. Like,
absolutely.
I've had those debates. I had them once. I have them twice. But
right.
After a while, it's just like I'm good on that.
Being in the scene with some loud characters, I mean, it's not too new, but I am interested because things get pretty wild in maybe your night scenes and whatnot. Do you ever fear the hashtag #MeToo, Cosby getting caught up? I mean, how do you feel about that kind of stuff?
I mean, I heard you like that GHB, allegedly. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I won't even let a chick try that with me till after we slept together, just because of that Cosby stuff.
Right.
Like,
okay,
I understand what that's connected to, so I won't even.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good on that topic, though. Good. I'm good.
I got it. Yeah, you got to watch your back. Like, it's gotten so unsexy the way that I approach women. I'm like,
aggro.
I'm like, I plan on having sex with you if we hang out. If that's not what you're into, I understand. We don't need to hang out. Like, that's how bad it's gotten.
Wow. Straight up, straight to the Netflix and chill.
Well, I
don't use Netflix.
He says I just go to chill.
No, he's like, I'm good. To where I guess you've been through a lot of stuff. We'll get down to the end here, but you've had a lot of crazy jobs. To where one of them, if I'm correct, to where I passed a club out here the other day, had a rainbow flag flying in front, and I was with my girl, and I was like, man, Rude Jude, like A.K.A. Jude Angelini, the author, A.K.A. the guy from the All Out Show, he worked in a bathroom allegedly. Am I correct with that? Like, that's one, and possibly not your worst job. Like, you did it all.
I worked at the gay bar as a bathroom attendant. My girlfriend was a go-go dancer upstairs. She was now a famous choreographer, so she's doing well for herself. And
there you go.
She was telling me that they were looking for. This was in Michigan. It was they needed somebody who was $12 an hour plus tips. And the hours weren't bad. Nobody wanted the job, so I took it. I find myself doing jobs nobody else wants.
You'll get paid for it.
Because I don't think I'll do whatever. I don't think I'm too good for nothing. I used to wipe down poles at a real hood strip club, and I got paid way better at the gay bar, man.
Right.
You had to deal. I got Me Too's. Oh, excuse me. I have Me Too's. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's real.
Getting harassed by gay dudes. You know, like.
So did you get your start on what was it, Jenny?
Yeah, back in Jenny Jones. That was way back, right?
I was doing Jenny Jones, and then I wasn't getting paid nothing, and I'd fly and go work at the gay club.
Oh no!
Wow.
Get out! Really?
Wow.
And
that's
so
sad.
my
understanding,
signing autographs and handing out paper towels. It was
right. And you were basically like the troll before the trolls, like the troll before the internet.
It's like, well.
Yeah, man. I was like, I don't know. I was like what Don Rickles was, you know.
Right.
I was like our era of Don Rickles.
Wow.
And you got to understand, like, Cats wasn't really. They didn't know how to get down like that on daytime TV yet. Reality TV hadn't popped really, so you didn't have the How About That, Catch Me Outside Girls, or none of that, none of the Flavor of Loves.
Right.
And I just I just made a lane for myself.
You did, and I'll tell you what, you've done it very well, sir.
I mean,
I'm grateful.
You've done an amazing job, and I'm guessing a lot of these stories are in your book, Hyena and Hummingbird, to where we also have the Darkness in here with us. Who?
Yeah, I just got one question for him.
She's got a question
trying to hold
for
him
you.
up. So I came in here
got,
late
Darkness?
today. You have any advice for, a small upcoming radio show as we have right now?
The key is get your social media tight and be consistent. That's it. You got to be consistent. You got to show up.
I like that. Show up to work. Do your job.
That's Manny's quotes all the time. So we're on the right track is what you're saying.
All right.
But steal your Instagram is what I heard there, basically. Just steal it. He said just be consistent. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, steal my, I don't care. Steal my Instagram.
No,
I'll
his
take it from
Instagram,
all.
though, for real, check out his Instagram. This guy is killing it all the time. I'm cracking up all the time with what you got going on. Between your books, between your show.
Why don't you tell Colorado Springs again who you're listening to, just in case they're just tuning in?
You are tuning in. You are listening to the Manny and Dr. Church Show featuring the Darkness. Listening, we are interviewing Jude Angelini, a.k.a. Rude Jude, the author, the
architect,
the character in general, man, because I don't even know how to describe you, because
the
honestly,
myth, the legend.
we're going to
Go
have to
on.
get into podcasting because the stories I want to tell, I can't tell.
No, we can't.
Because they're insane.
The real stories that I want to talk about, we
you're-
can't have on this conversation on air.
Like your dad giving you advice on girls and stuff and stepdads, and I mean, oh my God.
What's the future as we wrap this up? What's the future for you, bud?
I'm going to keep grinding out. I'm going to keep selling this book for, like, the rest of the year, and then chill and maybe start writing some more.
That's it.
Right on.
And then keep
That makes
doing the
sense.
radio show. That's it.
I mean, they keep repressing your first book because people keep wanting it. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I think you're accidentally an author, Jude. I'm sorry, bro. I think
I'll take it.
you know I mean, I love your radio show, like I said, but your book and your writing skill. I don't read books. I'll put that out there now. I'm a newspaper
And
or magazine.
Coloring crayons.
He's
Attention
lying. We're
span.
scratch and sniff and pop
Well,
up books.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm an attention span guy where it's very short, so chapters get rough with me. But the style in which you write, I gotta admit, it's
Definitely.
it makes it legible and readable for your for characters like me, if you will. So yeah, I guess.
If you do check out the book, read it like it's poetry. Don't waste a word, because I don't waste any word.
All right.
Right.
All right. Well, I guess that's where I say go out and buy the hyena book and the hummingbird book. That's the real. That's the
Yes,
real.
sir.
No more stops. This is the end of your stop. You going back home?
No, I'm going to New York. I ain't done working.
Oh, you still going back to New York? That's the bad place. That's where all the chemicals are at. What are you doing?
You gotta re-up.
Allegedly.
Chemicals are in L.A., my man. They're in L.A.
Oh man, nah, bro. Listen, New Jersey got everybody high. That's where the farmers at. That's real. So be careful out there, cause
Right.
I escaped.
If you want to
All
smoke
right,
some
guys.
trees, come out to Colorado. Come back to Colorado. Come see me in the back of the speakeasy. I got the game room in back. We'll play some. It don't matter. I got old school video games, and we got plenty of weed.
I appreciate
My
you.
man.
I appreciate you, Rude Jude.
Yeah, thank
Underwear.
you so
Thank
much
you
for
for
blessing the
coming on.
airwaves.
And we will, like I said, we'll talk again soon. We'll talk again soon.
We'll be in touch, man. Thanks.
I appreciate you.
Be well, y'all. Thank you.
It's the Manny and Dr. Church Show. We'll be back, y'all. It's blazing.
We're so hot with hits. Yeah! We're smoking. The all-new Blazing 98.5.
Introducing Phantom of the Dark.
So check it out, party people. It's the Garvani Gold.
Sonny G back.
It's Camp Low right here, locked down on the Manny and Dr. Church Show.
Yo, it's Lil Y.
Sonny Chibagichi Suede, hailing all the way from Black Hollywood. We got it locked right here on Blazing 98.5 FM. Keep it locked.
The Get Down Brothers.
Good morning. Oh.
Is that a spider?
That's a,
Wow.
wow. Welcome back
Wow.
to the Manny and Dr. Church Show. Manny's been messing with me all day today.
Good thing I took my PTSD meds today.
He's like, the signal drop. What? Oh, my.
I took my PTSD meds too, man. That Moses Mitchell. We listened to it again.
That was good stuff.
Yeah.
That was a classic track.
You were gonna make me talk about hip hop earlier.
I was, and then we got into what's his name? Into
And Rude Jude, we got that.
Jude.
Jude.
Jude Angelini from Shade45.
Shout out Sirius XM.
Was just on our airwaves, just chatting with us a little bit. We're gonna have him back at some point, definitely, to just chat. But for now, we'll go back to learning tour. Today, Manny taught us there was a man going around. If you could bring out that business card again, that would be great. There's a man going around that calls himself.
Himself what?
He's Weed Thor. I mean, it's
Yeah, Thunder God of Awesome.
pretty much. He's going around giving out cannabis for free.
And he wants people to take pictures of themselves and his card and hashtag Jeff Sessions in it, so that way it can get back to Jeff Sessions to know that, you know, we're all having sessions because of Sessions.
Just for you, Sessions.
You
Just for
know?
you, bro. Just for you.
And hey, the truth is I mean,
Beauregard.
What did he say? It was not bad people smoke pot or something
Yeah.
like.
Good people don't smoke marijuana.
Right, and I'm like, boss, I don't know. I served 7 years for this country. You know, I got 2 daughters. I try to serve the community as much as I can. I consider myself an all right guy.
I mean, forget about how we feel about the individuals that are in politics. Wasn't
Man.
like half of the last presidents all been like, yeah, no, I might have been around it. Might have been there.
chiefed up.
Yeah.
I didn't inhale.
Yeah, didn't he like just, I don't know, he just basically all his bosses just sit there and go, "No, y'all are bad people." I don't know.
Again, his stance on it needs to be reevaluated. Is all. He just needs to be re-educated.
He just needs to smoke some and chill.
He's got to relax.
So
well, I appreciate you teaching about this guy.
Yeah,
Thor. He's kind of amazing. So we've been learning this morning. To where next week we'll probably have a little bit more. We're going to try to get into more of these interviews where we regularly have somebody fun on, if you will, people that somebody might have heard of.
Or you're just going to hear us ramble about random facts we learned on the internet.
Because that's fun. It's a good time. Such as...
We can do what we want.
Machete.
That's a scary looking dude, man.
You know Machete? That was originally, it was a character originally developed for the children's movie series Spy Kids. Oh.
Yep, he was on there.
Isn't that sweet? Yeah.
What's his name? Trejo?
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo.
That would have been his name.
Yeah.
The guy that
by heart. It's not even on this list right here. Yeah.
The guy with the big old tattoo on his chest. Of
Machete.
Wonderful.
He's not the best to look at, but he's a good actor.
And you're telling me that that character was originally for children?
Machete.
How?
Spy Kids.
Machete.
Spy Kids. No, I remember. It was Spy. That's where they overdid 3D CGI stuff. They were like, "Oh, here you're in a green screen room."
Yeah. My kid likes it because it's 3D, and she holds onto those glasses like, whoa.
I just find it humorous the repurposing of characters or people or just. Oh, we find this. This will cure your eyesight, but it'll also help erections that are lasting longer than 5 hours. And you're like, where did we just go? What did you say?
Disney?
What? And you're like, well, it's just we repurposed it. No?
Oh.
Like, it's literally one extreme to the other. Again,
wow.
You're talking Machete, and then you're talking about some little kids.
Absolutely.
It's completely just, it doesn't make sense.
How are they able to pull that
left.
character, out of that?
It's just too crazy.
He smiled once or twice.
What just happened?
I've heard of it before, where they... what's the word? It's slipping my mind. Even in comic books is the idea, to where they recycle. They recycle characters that maybe or may not made it in the lineup. So there's the original cast,
right?
But then there was also 15 other cats that didn't make it, and then so those sit on the shelf for a couple of weeks, maybe months, maybe years. And they're like, oh, by the way, well, if you actually added a helmet to him, and instead of him being telepathic, he was just invisible, then he would be super awesome. And then they write a story on that guy. And then you find out that the original was, from He-Man back in 1973.
Whole nother thing.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
origin stories.
They recycle it, yeah.
I think that's one of our favorites that we go down is origin stories on a regular basis with a lot of people.
I love origins. Everybody right now that's listening has an origin story. It's up to you how you're going to finish it. Is it worthy of telling to the future?
It's truth.
Yo.
Learning. We're learning. Today I learned the Hartford Courant, the U.S.'s oldest newspaper. I'm going to learn to read today. The U.S.'s oldest newspaper in continuous publication, starting as a weekly paper in 1764. It's the oldest. It claims George Washington placed an ad in it to lease part of his Mount Vernon land. Thomas Jefferson sued it for libel and lost. Mark Twain was denied from buying stocks in it, and it's still around.
Really?
Which is insane because if the internet's around, that's almost impossible to me. They got to be going out within the next week or two.
Well, I also heard that George Washington had red hair.
Red hair.
What?
Right.
Is that real?
That's the today I've learned.
Yeah.
Nobody looks at what color is original. They would just look at him when he's old.
And why did they wear the white wigs?
Syphilis.
Yeah, so...
Yeah,
I mean,
side effects,
we
balding.
were lied to.
Yeah.
Oh, do your own research, people.
It's kind of like there's a picture of everyone signing the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah,
like
right.
Everybody just met up, just hung out. Like,
There's a flash mob.
Yo, here's a beer.
Wow.
Let's hang out. Oh, pass me the pipe.
We're going to do a constitutional movement.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's go.
Nope.
Constitutional movement. Sounds like a bathroom.
So you did what?
A bathroom thing.
You took it there.
Oh.
All right.
Oh.
For liberty.
And for liberty.
And justice for all.
So today I learned, and I'll tie two of these together because this was
right.
kind of boring, but whatever. It's interesting how people continue on with their...
That's going to be a plane crash.
Famous.
Because he knows it's boring.
Stop it. No. The
He's like,
boy
it's
who
boring.
played
It
Baby
sucks.
Superman in 1978 Superman movie
Okay.
actually later had a role in the 2013 movie Man of Steel.
Okay.
And so it's one of those things where you're
As
like...
what?
Hey.
Darkness is like what?
Oh, they just put you in the background. He's like a nothing.
Oh, he was... Really?
Yeah.
They wouldn't have made him like the...
Extra. He's an
Yeah,
extra.
like a real.
No, he's an
but
extra, like in the back.
There's a difference between like extras, and then there's like active extras.
Well,
and then there's secondary roles, primary roles. Everybody's got a role.
I think it's one of those
And they would
things
put him
where
in the back.
you get a nod just for being in the film, and then you can go around and collect signatures to where there's a thing coming around Colorado Springs. This is your friend owner is involved with possibly putting on Comic-Con for Colorado. Well, not Comic-Con, but they have
Chromicon.
Well, they have Comic-Con, yeah.
Weed-based comic book convention.
And they bring random
artists and
celebrities and people that were like, I was in this random movie back in the day.
Right.
And so on. So that's, I don't know, help you get that.
When is that? When is that?
Normally November timeframe.
Okay.
I think we got some time. But there is actually, thanks for bringing that up. For the comic book listeners, for the people that are into the toys and whatnot, I'm going to try and drag my feet as much as possible because I was not prepared for this. There is a convention going on today in town. If you like comic books, if you're into that kind of stuff, it's available. I think it's down there at the Doubletree. I can't even pull up the information. It's not even coming up on my phone.
Do your research, as we always say. How about that?
If you're into that kind of stuff and you like rare collectibles, if you love comic books and nostalgic, take your kids down there.
Yeah, even if you've never been and you aren't into it, just go and check it out.
Absolutely. And I want to say that they're normally down there at the Doubletree. Down there at South Circle.
Right.
You know.
Just call.
Do your own research, as we always say, people. We'll give you a little bit of a hint and just continue on. Today I learned. Now this is going to get personal here, and I'm going to be cautious.
Oh, Lord.
Okay. West Coast people, y'all got the tacos. Okay? Right? It's just the real. We accept that. East Coast has the pizza. Can we accept that or no? I don't know. Anyway, there's a lot of these random pizza places. One of them I found out you have to cook their own pizza. Like you go there, you buy it, you bring it home and cook it yourself, and they still charge you the same amount.
Talking about Papa John's?
And Papa Murphy's.
Oh, Papa
All these
Murphy's. That's
dads
right. Papa John's the $5, yeah?
Selling cardboard pizzas to everybody out here acting like it's
that's
pizza.
Little Caesars. I'm
New
saying
York
them all
style.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, stop that, please.
Sorry. Anyway, so there's a spot called Shakey's Pizza. It got its name from co-founder Sherwood Johnson, his nickname Shaky. Johnson got his nickname as a result of suffering nerve damage from obtaining malaria during World War II. Yay. Aren't you happy?
Wow.
I'm sorry. I just like to take it to a crashing halt.
Yeah, and
I was
trying to do my research.
attention.
Yeah, I was trying to do my research
like,
so
wait a minute,
I
I
can
just-
actually find out where this comic book convention is, because it is. To me, it's important. And maybe
then
it's
I was like,
important to
I'm
somebody
gonna
else. And
crash
you're
it
like,
out.
Shakey's.
Like, yeah, you just really wanted to take it there? Like,
Wow.
That's.
Can we go a
You
little
go,
bit more positive?
Oh, we got to look for positive?
Or funny?
All right.
Something funny? Darkness? Do you know anything funny?
I know that
No.
it was funny that he brought that up.
I'm sorry. All I keep seeing is the one we did yesterday with the Swedish meatballs outselling the hot dogs like crazy, to where the guy was like from IKEA that owned IKEA. Was like, oh, you own. Everybody's leaving because they're hungry because it's such a maze, or they're having smoke sessions, as Manny pointed out to us in this little living room.
I need to know which one
areas.
they've been at and what floor this is happening on.
Where these sessions are going down? It's a good question. It's a good question. Ask Weed Thor. Maybe he's running around the local IKEAs sponsoring sessions.
Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
That would be hard.
That'd be
We should have a spot Thor kind of contest at IKEA.
So I did it. I figured out my technology.
Okay.
And
All
now
right.
I'm
What
going
you
to
got?
read Colorado Springs.
Oh, boy.
Careful.
Okay. Good
Rocky
luck.
Mountain Comic Convention. Can you believe it? That's what it's called.
Okay.
Google it.
Yeah.
I'm done. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, no.
It is at the Doubletree by Hilton Stapleton North, 4040 Quebec Street, Denver. It's not in Colorado Springs. This is in Denver. But if you're going, it's going to be worth it because I went to it last year. So enjoy.
Enjoy.
I've done my part.
He's done his part.
There you go.
All right, this one's interesting. So, Sanjay Gupta, you've heard of that guy, maybe?
Oh, yeah.
CNN correspondent, hates weed, likes weed, hates weed, likes weed. I think he likes weed right now.
Can't make up his mind.
We're okay with it. He very much has at least twice, as a CNN correspondent, has been on location reporting, but needed to step in as a neurosurgeon. Once on a Marine in Iraq, the other on a little girl injured during the Haitian earthquake. Sponsored by CNN. No,
You know what?
can't
Come
believe
on,
it.
Darkness.
You're like, this
He's
can't be real.
this guy.
This
You're
can't.
just overachieving.
a winner.
You stop like raising the bar for us. Now it was like, I paid for somebody's meal, at an IHOP, and I was like, all right, I feel good about myself. This dude's saving lives.
It's beautiful. He's a giver. He's a giver.
Whatever,
a lot of people don't talk
Sanjay.
about the crazy stuff they do, honestly. I don't know.
Yeah?
Most people don't talk about it. So that's where I start looking and listening to those stories and going, all right, what publicist put that on Wikipedia for you? So every time they Google that you hate marijuana and text that they hate you, your Q rating goes down. So your publicist goes, let's say that he saved a child in Haiti. No one will ever know. No one has a clue.
Who goes to Haiti?
There was no internet there when he was saving the child anyway, so we have no proof, but just put it out there. People will love it.
I don't like glorifying false idols.
I mean, nobody likes to. They don't realize it. I don't think some people realize that that's exactly what it is.
I think, I believe you.
Well, today I learned water is used in rice field to prevent weeds. Rice doesn't actually need that much water. I didn't know that. To where you see all those rice paddies out in Asia, to where
They
it's
flood
actually
it. Okay, I get that.
it's actually rice doesn't need that much water, but it's basically a natural protection against weed. To where
So
I've
the
always-
root itself is strong enough to handle that much water,
Right.
And the weed roots are not, so it gets flooded out and drowns out the bad guys and only leaves the good guy.
Correct.
That's pretty cool science.
At which point I wonder cannabis. I've heard of
Hydroponics.
and I've heard of aquaponics as well. Have you heard of that? Where
Okay,
they
yes,
have
yes,
fish
absolutely.
or whatever in
Yep.
the bottom. You know what I mean?
Brilliant,
Circle
brilliant.
of life. If you will, darkness, you heard of this stuff? They have fish in the bottom of the tank.
Oh, in order to
The fish go to
natural
the bathroom
nutrients.
and it
Right.
feeds and
Mhm.
big old circle of happy life. If you
So
will.
you'd have like 500 gallons, like for a small op, and they would be filled to the brim with tilapia because, well, one, they're there. And let me ask you a question also. Has anybody ever caught a tilapia? I just want to say that.
No.
All right.
They
and
farm
I'm
too,
gonna
that's
I'm gonna leave you with that. Do your own research.
Don't eat
I
the
don't eat it
tilapia.
anymore.
It's always on special, and there's a reason why.
So
and Manny's correct.
They do. they produce a very potent, natural. What do they call it? Nutrients. Yeah, there we go. Nutrients.
Yeah.
And so that liquid is then pumped through the roots of the plants, and then the plants absorb all that waste from the
Right.
fish, and then the plants technically clean the waste from the water and filter it back, and then the water is pumped back into the fish, and now you have a full cycle of feeding and taking care of.
That's what's up.
And when will somebody do this with cannabis, or they've already done it and just nobody talks
I think they're
about
doing
it?
it.
The way they probably do it.
It's just hard to put the pieces all the way together. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Well, tilapia, you don't know where it comes from.
No.
And a lot of people don't know where their foods come from neither. To where a lot of people buy vitamin water, right?
Yay, vitamin water.
It's so vitamin filled.
And colored.
Yeah, it's
gonna be
basically
bad.
allegedly sugar water to which about a penny's worth of synthetic vitamins have been added. A bottle of vitamin water contains 33 grams of sugar, making it more akin to a soft drink than to a healthy beverage.
Welcome to the placebo effect.
Yes, you're drinking a soda basically. And,
What if you just woke up every day believing you can do anything?
you can.
Oh no! The world crushes those dreams, just so you know. But they're actually, it's real.
No,
You can
we
do
crush
anything.
those dreams.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The world, us,
Somebody
we, the people.
was feeling good about themselves because they bought 17 cases of vitamin water,
Right.
all in various
And they're all
flavors.
excited.
And then I find out, and then they find out that it's worthless.
That's great. That's great.
All right.
Do you have any other fun today I learned?
This one's fun. All right, so aliens are real. No, so aliens, right?
Nano.
You've heard of crop circles? This one's fun.
Crop dusting?
So
Manny knows all about it.
Yeah,
That's
the homeless.
Terrible.
Gotta get
He
'em.
wanted to. That's wrong, Manny. That's not right. That's so not right.
If they want to know the true story, they should have tuned in.
They should have tuned
to
in
the prior
previous
show.
shows.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Australian opium farmers found mysterious crop circles in their fields.
Of course they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
The culprits were wallabies who got high and bounced around in circles.
Really?
So basically, the wallabies were running around just like, oh my
Jump
God.
up and get down.
Yeah. Jumping in circles, just high out of their mind, creating crop
Nice.
circles. And then everyone comes around going, wait a minute.
Oh, the
that's-
aliens visited. Oh, wait. Why is there poop everywhere?
Oh, man.
They're passed out right here.
Terrible.
Steve,
Terrible.
pull your pants up.
You'll be all right. No. Today I learned. That's. I'm sorry. I'm moving right on. I'm now just.
Red 7.
Steve Jobs. Although this was just
I've
this
heard
weird.
of this guy.
Steve Jobs. He did a lot of interesting.
He worked at
quirky-
Subway,
did
right?
something.
Subway?
Yeah, I think he invented.
The footlong.
Well, he had the sandwich artist.
Oh, no.
Isn't that what he did?
No.
No?
He was a hummus salesman, I think.
He distributed hummus. He was the
Yes.
number one salesman of hummus on the East
Yeah,
Coast.
Steve Jobs. Go on.
Okay.
Might have worked for Atari.
No, okay. Actually, Steve Jobs from Apple.
Oh, that
One,
guy. That other guy.
I'll sneak in my knowledge of him. He used to get a brand new Mercedes on a regular basis because he did not like to get plates. So he would allegedly just get a new car with temporary plates all the time from the Mercedes dealer.
Why would he not? That's a well.
Because
that
people
can't
can
really
trace
ask
that.
him now.
It's just one of his things.
Right,
quirky
but-
things allegedly.
Why
Look it
would
up on the internet. I might be spreading false rumors.
Right, but
we all
I'm
know
just
I
wondering.
lie.
I mean,
Come on,
maybe
y'all.
he could. Maybe he knows something
Well,
we don't know.
This one, he believed that his commitment to vegan diets meant his body was flushed of mucus and he was free from body odor. So he didn't need to wear deodorant or shower regularly. His former co-workers quote that he was very, very wrong. Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Good old Steve Jobs.
Good old Jobby Job.
Good old Steve Jobs.
I thought
Apple.
you were talking about the other guy. That
No?
No.
Apple computers.
You saying he didn't shower?
I'm not saying it. The internet's saying it.
Oh.
And 85,000 other people are concurring, saying that's crazy, but maybe. But let's just promote this fake news. No one will
Wow.
know. They might not do their research, and that's real. Say the Daily Dose. What do you think? We got facts?
Right,
Think we got
no
facts?
kidding.
What are you
Right.
doing? We're reading some craziness out here. It's too easy that way. So anyway, today I learned. Oh, I don't want to go down that story. That one's about
It's
AIDS.
probably a happy one.
Yeah, that one's about children with AIDS.
He
and
was
stuff.
like, "Hey, I got a good one.
Oh.
A 2-year-old." He'd be like, "Oh, come on."
No.
Today I learned that in 2013, after more than 20 years of soda being America's #1 beverage, water has taken over as America's favorite drink.
You
That's pretty amazing.
You know why they know that?
Because they sell it to us.
Because we're buying it.
Yeah.
They can count the numbers.
The sad part of
Right,
it.
because we're not drinking water from our homes.
From the faucet
And-
like we used to
and
do.
why is that? Because we have old
Ask someone from
old
Fountain.
structures. We got old pipes. Like
Yeah.
these pipes ain't been dug up and touched in how many years? And they still just passing water through your house.
Like, no joke, Manny's been with me in line when we're waiting to fill up our 5-gallon refills. Waiting for Manny came with me one day, give me moral support because I was losing
did.
it. Like, why are we paying for water? Manny's like, I
it's-
got you,
You
brother.
got a utility bill, right? You got a utility bill that charges you for water, right?
Every month, or so the lady tells me, or it's her bill she's using for whatever. I see packages show up, but I don't know where they come
Right,
from.
right,
I don't know.
right.
Maybe that's what it is. But I mean, I went there, and the other night I got sent for water again, so I have to go buy my drinking water, buy the water my child brushes her teeth with, and the whole bit. I go in, guy had 5-gallon refills, 25
Gross.
gallons. I'm yelling. That's how much it was. 5-gallon refills, and I had to stand
Yeah.
there and go, I have 2. This is how crazy it's gotten.
How do
And-
we fix it though? Like, I mean, I'd like people to make enough noise to where somebody would want to fix it.
What do you mean, how do we fix
You know,
it?
they're talking about it now, and that's the reason I have, like the feels on, like the homeless being near the waterways
Absolutely.
and all of that. That gets filtered somewhere.
Right.
That's being put back somehow.
Right.
We
We have
and
processing plants.
there you go. And when our pipes aren't changed out, and you're filtering down a pipe that's already been touched.
It's already grody in
You
there.
know?
So what you're saying is like it doesn't matter if we clean the water, it's still got dirty pipes. She ain't saying it. I said it.
And he's like, I said it.
Just,
I said it. I don't know.
It's real.
I hate that we have to pay for water at this point, and it's sad because again, I pay for water. So I have
Right.
to pay for water and then go buy
And
water.
then go buy water, right?
And
You
it's-
don't get to use a common utility that say somebody less than 20 miles away from you gets to. And this is America. This is USA. This isn't third world country. And I'm sorry, but Detroit.
It's real. It's been a minute.
I mean, Flint, Michigan. Like, from my understanding, they're still shipping bottles of water in there like it's some kind of, I don't know.
It's sad.
Somebody
It's sad.
that didn't have their stuff right.
Well, let's go back to more learning. Let's more back to more learning.
I just hope that we don't wait too long. Like, we need to quit being on the response side of life. Okay, we need to be on the proactive, constructive side of life, where we're building for the future, not responding from the past. Does that make sense?
It does.
All right, well, let's move on.
It does. To where actually, so
I'm
this
done
next
talking
one will
about this.
next one will tie into it a little, but not really. So things aren't always what they seem. So you go out, you go to college, you get A's, you get out, got no job. Yay. It happens to people. I've seen it. I've seen it more than once. You go out, you get your PhD, and they're like, yay, you're a doctor. Here is $15 an hour. That's not a joke. It's not a joke. I know an MD that makes $15 an hour, and I know PhDs that make around 16 to 18 bucks an hour. So
That
you think
hurts.
doctors are rich or so on? That's not always the case. You'll get out of college and you go, I'm be rich now, and then they're
Right.
like, you got that student loan though?
And unfortunately, we're
Wait,
not
what?
flooding trade schools. Like people that know how to create asphalt.
Perfect. Perfect.
You
Now,
know?
you go to your local plumber or your electrician.
Absolutely.
That guy's driving a Benz, a
Oh, yeah.
Ferrari, some of them.
Yeah, some of them.
$30 an hour.
But
Yeah.
in college or high school, they didn't get A's.
No,
They weren't.
no.
And so that's where it's very interesting to me, to where I'm all about education without question. I really am.
Education is key. School is not necessarily
Well,
the lot.
Well, there's different forms of it, is what I'm saying. There's different versions
Exactly.
of school of hard knocks, trade schools, community college,
School of
regular
life.
college, school of life. And a lot of people make it through, and to where, I mean, I've said school of hard knocks myself. To where
Absolutely.
what I love about this one is David Letterman. You've heard of that guy.
Wait, he's the guy with the face and the beard, right?
Big old beard. He's fake
Okay.
Santa Claus
Yeah.
now. That's who he is now. He actually created a scholarship fund for the average C student, recognizing that it's not all about marks. Some are extraordinary and amazing in other ways.
It's been said before. Don't judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree.
Right. Or
All
wear a
right.
fur coat, right?
Okay, wait a minute. See,
No, you gotta that's Einstein stuff or internet stuff. Regardless, the message is that we grow up and we put our children into this system called school, and now they have to find the coolest person that they get along with. That's it. Once they're there, they're not worried about A plus B is A. You know,
Yeah.
They're not caring about school. They're worried about, hey, who can I be friends with so my life isn't miserable?
Right.
And then so they assimilate and they start developing characteristics. And then we do that all the way through life until you pop out this thing that's just ready to, what? Go to work?
And then we lock them up and don't give them real lunch. What? I'm sorry, I just went dark there. That was terrible. All right. Honestly, this is the end of our show. Let's do some plug-in. I have to give a shout-out to Jude, a.k.a. Jude Angelini.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving us the time.
Go buy his book.
Buy his book.
Yeah.
Books.
What is it called?
Books.
Hard S.
The new one is Hummingbird. His older book is Hyena, and they keep repressing the Hyena book.
Right.
Because as people read the new one, going, man, this guy, it's a good read.
I didn't read Tucker Max. Did you read any of that? Tucker Max, the guy that was really obscene or whatever.
No.
I don't know. It made headlines a while back, and that's what I'm kind of getting the idea that maybe Rude is portraying it like it's a little bit more on the racier side of literature. It ain't your 50 Shades.
Yeah,
you know, he's
no,
not talking about
he's-
love stories tied in your basement.
And it's not about the actual hummingbird.
no.
No. I mean,
So
It's
don't
about the little
think it's
man on the
like,
boat.
I've heard him admit to writing this book on all kinds of weird chemicals. The first one, if you will, Little Man on the Boat. Crazy. Yeah, it's about all kinds of crazy stuff, past stories that he's had that are written in his verbiage, if you will, to where it's in his speech. Where
Okay.
instead of you're hearing some Harvard writer sitting there clicking away at a typewriter with Jude sitting in the background smoking a
proper-
pipe,
yeah.
being like, "Yeah, man, tell him that's how it went, dog," and then they spell it D-A-W-G or D. I spell it all funny. And spell
Right,
stuff
right.
all wrong,
Yeah.
like, yeah, he meant it with a K though, crazy with a K. That's what he meant. You know, it's different. It's in his verbiage, if you will. So if he wanted it
Right.
with a K, he would have spelled it with a K. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's in his taste. It's in his character. It's Rude Jude all over it.
So shout out to the All Out Show, Sirius XM, and shout out to his books, Jude Angelini. He's out there. Listen to him. So thanks for giving us that interview. Talk to me.
I'm gonna shout out Canna Pam.
All
Those
right.
in the industry know who this woman is.
Yeah, yeah.
And this woman's effort, man, she puts it. She wakes up every day for weed, not to smoke it, but for it, and the industry and the people in it. So
Right on.
huge shout out to Canna Pam
That was beautiful.
I like that.
and DBK Glass, cause Bongo, that's my bong.
That's right.
I love you, DBK Glass.
I love you. I love you. I love you.
You got any shout outs, Darkness?
I want to shout out my buddies that are right here. and for the
For us?
opportunity
That's for us.
to be here and do my thing.
You're so
Yeah,
amazing.
whatever. I just want to do a shout out to all of my peoples out there. Everybody's smart.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Have a designated something. All right.
Party responsible.
K Solo possibly next week. We're gonna see if this guy keeps tickling us, saying he's coming on the air. We don't know.
I'm not gonna waste my time too
He ain't
much.
gonna waste his breath. Either way, I'm gonna play some K Solo right now. Let's go into some Spellbound.
Keep it live. We'll be back
That
next
sounded
weekend.
country. Spellbound.
Y'all be easy. We'll get
It's
some
the
hip hop
darkness.
next weekend. Yeehaw.
Blazing 98.5.